And hello and welcome to Scalino's Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you've joined us for the first game of a best-of-3 championship series, featuring, of course, the Inland Valley Pirates, who tied for first place in the SCCBL, taking on the Palm Springs Power, who was the other equation in that part right there, who also finished with a 12-4 record in the SCCBL. Pirates come in 26-6. Fresh off of victory over Team San Diego yesterday. 7-5 was the final score in what was a one-game playoff, and it was really a tough situation for the Pirates because it's tough to beat anybody 4 times in a season, and they had done that. They had swept Team San Diego in 4 games by combined 14 runs, and then they have to come out here and do it a 5th time and come out and get it done, but it was not easy, certainly not easy for the Pirates, who fell behind 4-1 in the 3rd inning. And in the 3rd inning, each team sent up 9 hitters, 18 hitters in total, 9 runs scored. So San Diego got 4 in the top half and took that 4-1 lead. And then in the bottom half, it was the Pirates who scored 5 runs. The big hit was Kyle Garlick's double down the left field line, a 2-run double. That tied the game up at that point. And then it was Anthony Virgin's home run later in the game. That was a huge insurance run and really, really helped Jordan Sheffs close out that game, who actually was absolutely dominant once he came in and really did a good job for the Pirates after really Michael Koval, he had not really been hit all season long, and it kind of fell apart from there in that 3rd inning, and Jordan came in and got the first 2 guys he faced out, got out of the inning, and then ended up picking up the win, going 3 2/3 inning, and was very, very strong. And then, of course, Jack Johnson came in the 7th and 8th inning, and you got to love Jack Johnson as a reliever in that type of situation. He came in those 2 innings and was very, very good. And then A.J. David closing it out for the Pirates. And that's how they got here today for this best-of-3 game series against the Power. This is what the starting lineup will look like for the Palm Springs Power. Leading off in center field is Ryan Clark. Batting second is short Scotty Burcham. Batting third, the second baseman Jordan Zimmerman. The cleanup hitter is Eno Patron in right field. He was the SCCBL Hitter of the Week a couple of weeks ago. Jake Howarth, one of the top players in the league last year, he's the left fielder batting 5th. Hunter Benning is batting 6th at first base. It's Sterry, the designated hitter, in the 7-hole. Charlie Matting, he is the catcher, batting 8th. And last but not least, Danny Edgeworth is the number 9 hitter in the lineup at third base. Here is what the defensive alignment looks like for your Inland Valley Pirates, going left to right across the outfield. It's Bryce Cherry in left, Nolan Henley in center field, and Kyle Garlick in right field. And when you see Nolan Henley out there in center field, Nolan is one of the better outfielders you'll see all season long. Very, very talented, very fast, very good at diagnosing where the balls will be. It's interesting to see Cherry in left only for the sense that Bryce is a guy who's played in right field pretty much all season long. But that, of course, is also the spot that Kyle Garlick occupies, and that's why he's out there in left here today. When you have 2 good outfielders like that, you got to make some room for both of them. Here is the infield left to right. It's Anthony Virgin at the hot corner. Greg Espinosa at short. At second base, Kyle Jackson. At first, A.J. David. And behind the plate, Christian Kelly. And we are underway here for Game 1 of the championship series. Andrew Alvarez delivers the first pitch low and outside for ball 1 to Ryan Clark. Andrew Alvarez coming into today, 38 innings pitched for the Pirates. Squaring around and now bringing it back is Clark as it's called a strike. 0-1 the count here for Andrew. But 38 innings pitched, 5-0, was the pitcher of the month in June for the SCCBL. Here's the pitch. Misses low and in, 2-1 the count. Also has 1 save, 30 strikeouts in those 38 innings, 7 walks, a 1.17 ERA, and a 1.02 whip. So Andrew Alvarez has been nothing short of sensational all season long. Fastball called to strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Andrew Alvarez, of course, starting his career at Pepperdine University before transferring to Orange Coast College, where he contributed to a state JC championship. This one's lined up the middle for a base hit, and the first runner of the day gets on base for the Power in the form of Ryan Clark, base hit up the middle. But as we were telling the story, Andrew Alvarez went to Pepperdine, where he was only a pitcher there, and decided to transfer to Orange Coast College because he not only wanted to pitch but also wanted to hit, and has done a really good job of hitting throughout the season as well, hitting about .333 right now. But he decided to go to Orange Coast College to do both, and as we mentioned, contributed to that JC State Championship, and now has earned a scholarship to Houston Baptist, a D1 conference team in the Southland Conference. First pitch on the outside corner, called strike one to Scotty Burcham. So it's 0-1 here as we are just getting underway. Just the second hitter of the game here in the top of the first inning. Pirates and Power doing battle. Pirates splitting the season series against the Power, taking one here and also one out in Palm Springs, something that hasn't been done by an SCCBL League opponent in quite some time. Here's the pitch, and it's low in the dirt. Good block by Kelly, and it's 1-1. Speaking of Christian Kelly, he will be going to the All-Star game in Palm Springs, although the rosters haven't been officially revealed yet, but you certainly figure to see Christian Kelly there. And we were talking with San Diego after the game, and literally their coach said before the game we were not even going to attempt to steal. The runner's off with this pitch is swung on and missed in the dirt. And so that'll be a wild pitch, as it's now 1-2 here to Burcham. Andrew Alvarez working out of the stretch now with a runner in scoring position at second base. That is Ryan Clark. It was actually, I believe, supposed to be a hit and run, as this one misses low and away for ball two, because the hitter went and missed, and the runner off the bag was getting a big secondary lead and was looking back at home plate. So that's how you know it was probably a hit and run. Ends up working for the Power nonetheless, though. Here's the 2-2. This one is grounded up the middle for a base hit. And rounding third and now coming home to score is Ryan Clark. And it's 1-0 Power here in the top of the first inning. So Scotty Burcham with an RBI single for the Power here in the top of the first inning. And they already lead 1-0. As we mentioned yesterday, the Pirates found themselves behind by a score of 4-1 and came back to win that game. Of course, Andrew Alvarez, he's been lights out against the Power all season long. He got 2 wins against the Power this year. But that's certainly not the start that you wanted to have for Inland Valley. 2 hits and 1 run in, no outs yet. Fastball up in the zone, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman is batting .383 on the season with the Power. Andrew Alvarez, 6'4", 230, right-handed pitcher, fires. Breaking pitch swung on. It's a little blooper out into center field. Kyle Jackson can't make the catch, and nobody's going to be at second base. So that will be a bloop single, as the Power dugout is being very vocal out in that third base dugout. Of course, the Power wearing their white shirts, white pants, red trim, red numbers. Pirates, meanwhile, in the red shirts, white pants, red hats, black bills of the cap. Well, so far there's been 3 hitters and 3 hits for the Power. Andrew Alvarez has yet to retire, a batter from Palm Springs. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Eno Patron. Patron from Long Beach State hitting .429 for the Power. Here's the pitch. And is low and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. This is certainly not what you wanted to see if you were the Pirates, as you're going against the guy who's only allowed 1 run the entire month of July. So it'll be definitely tough to score on him. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. Although, if you remember, last time we saw the pitcher that's going for the Power, Alvarez outdueled him in a 3-2 game. The pitcher for the Power being Morgan Ehrman from the University of Arizona. Alvarez comes set, fires. It's low for ball. 2-1 the count here for Andrew Alvarez, and we mentioned it. This is something where the Pirates, they know they can come back, and obviously there's still 9 innings left for them to get their at-bats, but at this point you really just want to get 1 out because there are still no outs. First 3 hitters all reaching on hits. Here's the pitch. This one's lined foul down the first base line, 2-2 the count. And really, you think about it, and you think about the sense that we were talking about how good Alvarez was, and those 2 runs that were scored in him in that game, both were scored in the 9th inning. He had gone 8 innings and just completely shut them down. in that second outing against them here at Palm Springs Stadium, or I should say here at Cal Poly Pomona. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt. Good block by Christian Kelly. And it's now a full count here for Eno Patron. Andrew Alvarez is a major in sports medicine. Hometown Riverside. Went to Martin Luther King High School, where we understand he had some epic duels in basketball with Kawhi Leonard. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the left field line and slicing out of play. So we'll do it again. Another payoff pitch to come between Alvarez and Patron. At Martin Luther King, he had a .388 batting average, first team all-league. That's, of course, just obvious when you see the talent that Mr. Alvarez has. Was also a scholar athlete, and so many of these players on the Pirates have done that both at the high school and collegiate levels. Line drive left side and through the glove of the diving shortstop Espinosa, and that will be another run. So 4 hitters, 4 hits, and 2 runs for the Power here in the top of the first inning. So Eno Patron with an RBI single, and it's 2-0 as Charlie Reynoso will make a mound visit here with Andrew Alvarez, as the Pirates have already fallen behind 2-0 just before even the first out has been recorded. So really, really tough start right here for number 19, as the entire infield and Christian Kelly as well joins Alvarez and Charlie Reynoso on the mound. Well, the Palm Springs Power are the 3-time defending SCCBL champions, and they've certainly done a good job right here in the first inning if they want to try to make it 4. As we mentioned, really the Pirates show great heart all season long, and there's no reason to think that they still can't come back from just a 2-0 deficit. In fact, they erased a 3-run deficit just yesterday, and they erased that deficit in 1 inning. And that, of course, was against Randy Wynn, Team San Diego's ace. Here comes the number 5 hitter in the lineup, Jake Howitt, the left fielder from Texas Wesleyan. He's hitting .321 for Palm Springs. Alvarez set, checks the runner at second, fires home. And this one is lifted foul and out of play behind home plate. 0-1 the count. After Howitt, it'll be Hunter Benning and then Zach Sterry. Alvarez taking some time and now steps off the mound. Gets right back on it. Nobody holding the runner on. This one is thrown down to the plate. It's a nice breaking pitch, swung on and missed by the hitter, Jake Howitt. Well, for the Pirates, I think in this situation, still no outs. You're looking for a ground ball, try to turn 2, as it is a 2-strike count, and the hitter, Jake Howitt, is definitely going to have to protect the plate. Alvarez comes set and fires. This one's swung and lifted foul. Will it be in the field of play? No, it's not. It slices out of the field of play over towards the trees down the third base line. Very picturesque setting for baseball here at Scalino's Field. Some nice trees going and surrounding the entire outfield. Actually, at the beginning of the season, the trees out in the left field were purple. They are no longer purple. They're green now. So they had like purple flowers out there. Here's the pitch. 2-strike pitch, swung on and missed. Nice off-speed pitch there for strikeout for Andrew Alvarez. And finally, Pirates retire their first player in this game, as Howitt goes down swinging. Here comes Hunter Benning. Benning's from Northwest Florida State, .361 batting average. Very big right-handed hitter, wearing number 44 for the Power. So 2-0 to score, 1 out, top of the first inning. Alvarez checks the runner at second. No one holding him on. Swung on and missed. 0-1. As Andrews started to find that breaking pitch right here, making previous hitter Jake Howitt kind of look silly swinging at that one. And then here now Hunter Benning, same thing, nowhere near that pitch, as it just kind of cut straight across the zone from the middle half of the plate outside of the strike zone. Comes back on the inside with it, and it's called strike 2. 0-2 the count, as Hunter Benning was kind of giving the umpire a stare Maybe didn't like the call. But we said you were looking for a ground ball in the last batter. Maybe here you get the ground ball and you get an inning-ending double play. Actually, that was how the Pirates won the game yesterday, with an inning-ending double play. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So down goes Benning, the second consecutive strikeout. So obviously, you'll take that if you're Andrew Alvarez, 2 strikeouts in a row. After the first 4 hitters in the lineup all got hits. One of them was a bloop hit, but the other 3 were all pretty hard hits for the Power. Line drives at that. Here's the left-handed hitter, Zach Sterry, DH. Goes to Oakland and Michigan. 380 batting average for Palm Springs. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for strike 1, 0-1 the count. So really what Andrew's done in these last 3 batters is he's just gotten ahead, and he's found his locations a little bit better. Maybe just settling down just a little bit. Maybe he was, you just have so much energy going into a championship game. Here's the pitch. Bounce to the right side over towards the charging first baseman, A.J. David, who catches it on the one-hop and steps on first base to retire the side. But the Power, they get 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and they lead 2-0 at the end of 1/2 inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to Scalino's Field. So glad you've joined us. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play here on InlandValleyBaseball.com for this Game 1 of the Championship Series. Unfortunately for the Pirates, it was not a very good first-half inning, although Andrew Alvarez settled down after allowing 4 consecutive hits to open the game up, and the Power scoring 2 runs as Morgan Ehrman is on the mound for Palm Springs, and we mentioned he is their ace, and he won the Pitcher of the Month honors here for Palm Springs in the SCCBL this month of July. Pirates did get a victory against him back on June 23rd. It was Alvarez out-dueling Ehrman in that game. Morgan Ehrman from the University of Arizona, right-handed pitcher, a Wildcat. Here's Greg Espinosa, the leadoff hitter for the Pirates. First pitch, fastball in there, strike 1, 0-1 the count. So it'll be Espinosa leading off, then Kyle Jackson, Anthony Virgin, Kyle Garlick is a cleanup hitter, Johnny Reynoso, Christian Kelly batting 6th, A.J. David batting 7th. His fastball misses inside, and it's 1-1. Nolan Henley in the 8-hole, and 9th hitter is Bryce Cherry out in left field. We'll give you the defensive arrangements very quickly after this next pitch from Ehrman. And it's a fastball at the knees, called strike 2, 1-2 the count. Defense, it looks like this. Left to right across the outfield is Howarth, Clark, and Patron. Left to right across the infield, Edgeworth, Burcham, Zimmerman, Benning, and Madden is the catcher. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit for Greg Espinosa, and that's not a surprise. It shouldn't come to a surprise if you've been watching and listening Inland Valley Baseball all season long. Greg Espinosa came into today with a .391 batting average and makes it go up right there in the form of that line drive base hit. Actually, he was very sure to get here early today because he actually didn't get the start yesterday in the first playoff game because he was a little bit late. So he made sure that he was early here and actually told me he was just glad to be here so early, as this one's called a strike, 0-1 the count here to Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson hitting .304, .371 on-base percentage, 10 RBIs, squaring around in a sacrifice situation, but there's going to be a throw over to first. Of course, you're just trying to scratch a few runs across here in the bottom of the first inning. Even though it's 2-0, obviously, you still have all of your at-bats left. So to be able to sacrifice the runner over to second and get to the heart of the order with just 1 out would be good, fundamental baseball. But this one is going to be grounded over towards the first base line and foul by Kyle Jackson. I should mention that the infield grass was trimmed here today, and it looks really nice. And actually, if you were listening and if you were just here over the past few days, it had gotten pretty long. And we kind of remarked about that yesterday against Team San Diego, how there were just balls that would die in the infield. You could almost lay down if you could lay down one to perfection down the third base line, it was almost a hit every time. Here's the 0-2 pitch, fastball high and away, and it's 1-2 here to Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, 6'1", 205, right-handed hitter, who was an SCCBL All-Star in 2013. In 2013, hit .340 with these Pirates, as this will be a pickoff throw over to first, not in time. One of 17 returning Pirates. So a lot of returning players, but also a lot of new players as well. Another pickoff throw to first, not in time, but that one was a little bit closer to getting Greg out. Greg Espinosa hops off that base and takes his lead again. It's not that big of a lead, though. Here's the pitch, grounded to the right side, high chopper over towards the second baseman. He has no play to second, so he just gets the given out at first and retires Kyle Jackson. But Jackson does move the runner over, so it's almost like you had a sacrifice bunt of sorts because you give up one out, but you get the runner into scoring position. And here is Anthony Virgin, and Anthony Virgin has been on a tear as of late, specifically this month, but in the last week hitting 5 for 14, but it's not necessarily the 5 for 14 that you should really focus on. It's the 2 doubles and the 2 home runs hit here at Cal Poly Pomona. One yesterday against Team San Diego in the playoffs over the left field wall. He has just shown great power this month. This one is swung and fouled out of play down the first base line. 0-1 the count here to Anthony, who comes in batting .321 with a .422 on base percentage. Also leads the team with 15 RBIs for the season. On deck is the cleanup hitter Kyle Garlick. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled behind home plate. 0-2. We talk about this always, but of course, right behind home plate is the parking lot that's designated for students here, and also there's the adjacent dormitories down that first base line that might create some shade out in right field and first base later on in the game. This one is swung and fouled straight back behind home plate, and we'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch to come here for Anthony Virgin. Anthony Virgin, one of 2 Virgin brothers. The other one is Nathan, who's actually not in the starting lineup for this game, but both of them together have really been just on-base machines all season long for these Pirates. Swung on, towering fly ball in the infield, and it'll get a few feet out on the outfield where the shortstop, Burcham, will call for it and make the grab for the second out here in the bottom of the first inning. Pirates trailing 2-0 after the Power got 4 hits in the top of the first to start the game and scored those 2 runs. Here is Kyle Garlick. Kyle Garlick tied for the team lead in batting average with .391 clip, .440 on base percentage from the University of Oregon. Was a Duck the past 3 years, and now transferring to Cal Poly Pomona to be closer to home. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed way out in front of it, and it's 0-1 here to Kyle Garlick. Well, if you're the Pirates, this is the type of guy that you certainly want up with a runner in scoring position. We'd mentioned he had the huge hit yesterday, a game-tying hit in the bottom of the third inning when the team was trailing 4-2, lined it to the left field line. This pitch is in the dirt, 1-1 the count. And that scored 2 runners and knotted it up at 4 apiece at that time. And then the Pirates came through with a couple more runs in the inning and wound up taking a 6-4 lead after the third inning. And then, as we mentioned, Anthony Virgin tacking on another run in the form of a home run. This one misses low, 2-1 the count here to Kyle. On deck, Johnny Reynoso, the left-handed hitter. And Johnny is actually the DH today. Greg Espinosa taking a pretty small lead off second, but nobody holding him on. Now go a few more feet out. This one's swung and hit off the fist. Fly ball over towards the first baseman, Benning, who makes the routine grab to retire the side here in the first inning. So 1 hit, no runs, no errors for the Pirates in the bottom of the first inning. They trail 2-0 to the Power here in Game 1 of the championship series of the SCCBL. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 2 we go in a 2-0 ball game. Power leading the Pirates here at Cal Poly Pomona. It'll be 8-9-1. That's where we are in the Power's lineup. That would be Charlie Madden, Danny Edgeworth, and Ryan Clark, who started the game off with that single up the middle. And then that was followed up by 3 more hits and 2 runs coming in to score. And so it's 2-0 here as we head to the top of the second. And here is the catcher, Charlie Madden. He's from Mercer University, a D1 school. .276 batting average this summer. Right-handed hitter going against the right-handed hurler, Andrew Alvarez. Fastball low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Andrew Alvarez just turning 21 this summer, a few weeks ago. So celebrated a very important birthday. Called a strike at the knees, 1-1 the count, as he took a little bit off that last pitch. Says his favorite team is the Yankees, and obviously when your favorite team is the Yankees, it's pretty, you could draw a logical conclusion that your favorite player would be Derek Jeter, and that's his. This one's alone away, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Not to take anything away from any of the other players on the Yankees, but certainly Derek Jeter has cemented himself as not only the face of the franchise and the MLB for the past 20 years. Swung on and missed. Another off-speed pitch way out in front of it was Madden, and it's 1-2. So after those first 4 hits, Alvarez has really found his off-speed pitches and has changed the speed of the pitches, also going with some sliders and some hard-biting curveballs. Here's the pitch, and that one was certainly a hard biter, as that's one swung on miss for a strikeout. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Andrew Alvarez, all coming after those first 4 hits for the Power back in the top of the 1st inning. Here is Danny Edgeworth, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Just like Charlie Madden, he's also from Mercer University. 260 batting average this summer with the Power, left-handed hitter. Swung on and fouled behind home plate. 0-1 the count. And you look at him, he's really a kind of lanky guy, very slender, is number 19 for the Power. This is probably a big position for them as he swings and misses at this one. It's 0-2. But that's something else that we talked about back in the top of the 1st inning. After those first 4 runs getting scored, Alvarez really started getting ahead of the hitters, and it's been much, much tougher for the Power since then. Breaking pitch in the dirt, 1-2 the count. And that's kind of the name of the game, really. If you can get ahead in the count, so it makes it that much tougher for the hitter. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 the count here for Andrew Alvarez. Encouragement from the first base dugout and Charlie Reynoso saying keep working hard, as that is certainly something that Andrew Alvarez will definitely do throughout this game. Here's the pitch. Line drive to the right side, trying to make a diving catch was Kyle Jackson, and clips off his glove, and it gets down for a base hit. It was a great effort for Jackson, who tried making a diving catch to his backhanded side, but just couldn't pull it in. And so that's another base hit, the 5th of the day here for Palm Springs, and we're just in the 2nd inning. And back to the top of the lineup, and we're talking about how really the number 9 hitter always is an extension of your leadoff hitter. And when you can turn the lineup back over to the top and you get on base as a number 9 hitter, that's doing your job here. As really you look at these first 4 guys, they all recorded hits back in their first at-bats. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time from Andrew Alvarez. Ryan Clark singled and scored back in the 1st inning, so he's 1 for 1. Is the right-handed hitter from Chico State. .315 batting average on the season with the Power. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking pitch. Misses for a ball. And it's 1-0 here for Alvarez. Alvarez working out of the stretch, checks the runner at first, and comes set and now throws over to first base. You see a lot of pickoff throws early in this game. It is a championship game. You definitely don't want to give up any easy bases in the form of stolen bases. But you feel like for the most part it's really just to keep the runner, on his toes and really make sure that he's paying attention. Here's the pitch. Nice slider in there for called strike 2 here for Andrew Alvarez. And we actually talked to Johnny Reynoso earlier in the season. He was actually on our broadcast, and he was saying that a lot of the Pirate pitchers work, kind of backwards. Andrew Alvarez certainly not normally the type of pitcher to do that with a pretty good fastball. Although in the middle of the 1st inning and here in the 2nd inning, he kind of has been doing that. And by working backwards, we mean kind of going with off-speed pitches early in the counts to set up your fastball as opposed to the reverse. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away for a ball. 2-1 the count. Oh, I thought the umpire had said strike 2 back on that last pitch, but I guess it's just 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Swung and fouled straight back at the screen. 2-2 the count. For Andrew Alvarez, It was sort of an unexpected start and something we haven't really seen in any of his starts this season, although he hasn't been pitching like he did against the Power earlier in the season. Although he hasn't had, starts, he's just been coming in for an inning or two here and there. Although against the San Diego Force, that was a tough outing for him too, where he gave up 2 runs. There were a couple errors in that performance, but they also hit the ball hard in that performance. Here's the pitch. Swung and little fister over to the right side, and Kyle Jackson has it under control and makes the out over to first base. So that is the second out here in the top of the second inning as Ryan Clark grounds out to the right side, and here comes Scotty Burcham. Scotty Burcham with an RBI single in the first inning and also scored a run as Ryan Clark will trot back into his third base dugout. And walking up to the plate is, as we mentioned, Burcham from Sacramento State, 302 batting clip here this summer with the Palm Springs Power. Alvarez checks the runner at second, fires home. It's in the dirt. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. And Christian Kelly, of course, one of the top catchers in this league. Pretty much never seen anything get by him. As, of course, on that last one, he blocked that last pitch. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lifted into right field. Coming in and making the catch out there is the right fielder Kyle Garlick to retire the side here in the top half of the second inning. So no runs, 1 hit, and no errors here in the top half of the second inning. It's 2-0 Power on top of the Pirates as we head to the bottom of the second on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us for the championship series of the SCCBL between the Power and Pirates. 2-0 the score here. Pirates taking the lead back in the first inning. 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup is where we are at. That's Johnny Reynoso, Christian Kelly, and A.J. David. Reynoso, the left-handed hitter, going as a right-handed pitcher. Morgan Ehrman takes outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Johnny. Johnny hitting .355 on the season, .420 on base percentage. 10 runs scored, 7 RBIs. Swings at this one and fouls it out of play behind home plate. 1-1 the count. And you talk about Johnny Reynoso. He's a guy that really has been a part of a lot of the rallies this season for the Pirates. So this is a guy that you like to see leading off an inning because he usually finds a way to get on base. It might not necessarily be a hit. It might be a walk, swung on and missed, 1-2 the count. But he's a really crafty hitter and usually figures some kind of way to get on base. In fact, he's pretty much gotten at least 1 hit in probably 7 of his last 8 games, if I remember correctly. But he swung and missed at that last one, and it's 1-2. Here's the pitch. This one's low and in for ball 2. 2-2 the count here for Johnny Reynoso. 5'11", 185, left-handed hitter. The son of the manager, Charlie Reynoso, who is over at third base in his normal spot. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled straight back at the screen, and we'll do it again. Another 1-2 offering to come here from Morgan Ehrman. Reynoso will be headed to West Texas A&M, where he will be a junior this season. For West Texas A&M, he went to Citrus College, where it's a first-team all-conference selection. Here's the pitch. Lined into the left field, and that will get down for a base hit. And that'll be the second leadoff base hit here for the Pirates. Of course, when you get the leadoff runner on base, the numbers go up astronomically in terms of being able to score at least 1 run in that inning, although it was to no avail in the first when Greg Espinosa led off with a leadoff single left field, and then the next 3 Pirates were retired in order. That was Jackson, Anthony Virgin, and Kyle Garlick. Here's Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly hitting .297 on the season, showing bunt very early, and he gets it down to the right side and gets his job done. Ehrman checking second very quickly, but then throws to first and records the out of Christian Kelly. But Kelly gets the job done in the sacrifice situation and moves Johnny Reynoso over to second. And as we said, it's still very early in this game, so the Pirates would love to just manufacture 1 run in this scenario here, if they can, and make it a 2-1 game and, worry about potentially scoring runs later. And that's why, as we mentioned, it's really imperative that you do get a leadoff runner on base because it's just so many things that you can do once you get him on first with no outs. And in this sense, you go with the sacrifice. And now you have A.J. David up and Nolan Henley to try to score the run. A.J. David is a guy with a lot of power. Hasn't played that much this season, or certainly not as much as last season where he was an SCCBO All-Star. Swings at this one and fouls it down the third base line and out of play. Hitting .273 this season, .353 on-base percentage, 8 runs, 6 RBIs. Really, when you look at him, he's a guy that can do it both at the plate and on the mound as well. In fact, he actually got the save yesterday, coming in the 9th inning to close down that game. High and away for a ball to David. David, among other things, was just incredible at San Bernardino Valley College. First team All-State selection both of his 2 seasons there. In fact, he was signed by Cal Baptist before his sophomore year even started back in December. Cal Baptist is where he will go this coming fall. Swung on and missed, strike 2, 2-2 the count here to A.J. David. So he will join his teammate on the Pirates, Alec Morabito, over there at Cal Baptist. He's a guy that actually took part in the home run derby as well last season, the 6'2", 200-pound left-handed hitter. Yearman out of the stretch, checks the runner, fires, swung, lifted down the left field line and slicing foul. It might be playable for the left fielder, though, but no. It just gets out of the reach of Jake Howarth. So that'll be a foul ball for David, and we'll do another 2-2. Howarth actually showing a lot of speed. Normally when a ball gets lifted down that left field line towards the bullpen, you don't normally see a left fielder anywhere near that foul ball. But actually it looks like they're kind of playing towards the left field line, assuming that David won't be able to pull it. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. And yet another 2-2 to come here for A.J. David. And if you recall back in the game yesterday, this is something that the Pirates did in the bottom of the third inning against Team San Diego, where all of a sudden they just decided we're going to start seeing a lot of pitches, extending the count, wearing down the pitcher, and sooner or later the pitcher, you feel, has to make a mistake. This is a nice pitch down low and in for ball 3. I meant it was a nice action. It really had nice action, but it bit way too hard and way too quick, and it's now a full count here for A.J. David. Certainly not a pitch you wanted to offer at, but of course it was a ball. 3-2 pitch, swung and missed. It was a fastball blown by A.J. David, who shakes his head in disgust and heads back to the first base dugout of the Pirates. That is the second out here in the bottom of the second inning. And here comes Nolan Henley. Nolan Henley hitting .226 on the season, 11 runs, 9 RBIs, and really is a great defensive outfielder. Plays in a good D3 conference in the SCIAC for the University of Laverne. 5'11", 175-pound right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher, Ehrman. Ehrman checks the runner. Breaking pitch on the inside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. On deck is Bryce Cherry, the number 9 hitter in the lineup today. And it's not too often you see him as a number 9 hitter. Normally he's at the number 2 spot or 3 or 4. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. In fact, I was actually a little bit surprised when I saw the lineup. I was thinking that Cherry would be, based on who was in, I would think that Cherry would be the 8 hitter and Henley the 9 hitter, because Henley kind of is a leadoff type of hitter. Although he did hit a home run this year out of the left field fence. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and 3 strikes to Nolan Henley in a row, and he goes down on strikes. So 2 consecutive strikeouts to end the inning after Christian Kelly sacrificed Johnny Reynoso to second base to attempt to, kind of scratch and claw 1 run across. So 1 hit, no runs, and no errors here in the bottom of the second inning. Pirates continue to trail 2-0 to the Power in Game 1 of the championship series. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the third inning. 2-0 the score. Power leading the Pirates here as Andrew Alvarez comes in for his third inning, going against the heart of the lineup for the Power. Jordan Zimmerman, Eno Patron, and Jake Howarth. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball paints the outside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. And I think that's a pitch that really wasn't called back for Alvarez in the top of the first inning. Just kind of making that observation as that first one was called to strike here in the third. Nice off-speed pitch, called strike 2, and it's 0-2 here to Jordan Zimmerman, who's 1 for 1 with a single for the Power. He had the bloop single kind of in the Bermuda Triangle zone as this one misses low and away. It was in the middle of the center fielder, shortstop, and second baseman, and nobody could get to it in time. Kyle Jackson was the closest to it, but just couldn't get there. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2 the count. Jordan Zimmerman hitting .383 on the season for the Power. I remember back when we played them in June, you looked at pretty much every single hitter was over .350. Low and away for another ball from Alvarez. So a patient at bat here for the number 3 hitter in the lineup, and obviously he's the number 3 hitter for a reason. Normally you put the number 3 hitter as your best hitter. Here's the pitch. Fastball blown by the hitter, strike 3, and that'll be the first out here in the inning. So Andrew Alvarez notches his 4th strikeout here in the 3rd, and up comes the cleanup hitter Eno Patron. Patron has an RBI single back in the 1st inning. He plays for Long Beach State. Left-handed hitter. Almost has a sort of football type of body. Looks very powerful and strong. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. This one misses away for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Well, for the Pirates, you look at the first 2 innings and you feel like both innings started the way you wanted to offensively, swung on and missed. Because both innings you led off with a single, and then in both innings you get the runner over to second base with only 1 out, and then both times the next 2 hitters are retired. But if you could have come up with 1 clutch hit in each of those innings, it would be tied. Swung on and missed, and actually that was foul tipped, I believe, for strike 2. As the home plate umpire will pick up the baseball and put it away in his pocket. So it's a 1-2 count. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Pirates doing something that no SCCBL team has done in a long time, splitting with the Power. This fastball misses away, ball 2, 2-2 the count. And so this 3-game series really is a tiebreaker of sorts for the season series. Neither one of these teams really losing that much at all this summer, as this breaking pitch misses in the dirt and is now a full count for Alvarez. In fact, the Pirates came into today 18-3 at home. One of those 3 losses, though, were to the Power in Game 2 of a doubleheader. This one swung on and lifted foul and out of play down the third base line right over the dugout of the Palm Springs Power. Well, the Pirates know what they're dealing with. They're playing a team who has won the SCCBL championship the last 3 years in a row and perennial top 25 ranked team in the nation. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses somewhere, and that'll be ball 4 as Eno Patron will draw the walk here. You know, it's interesting because it looked kind of like the same location that he threw to the first hitter, and they actually called the strike, and it was an 0-1 pitch. But the difference was that hitter was a right-handed hitter and Patron a left-handed hitter, although the zone shouldn't really change regardless. And here comes Jake Howitt. Howitt 0 for 1 with a strikeout from Texas Wesleyan. Right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez checks the runner at first, fires home. And this one misses low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Charlie Reynoso starting to be a bit vocal in the first base dugout, saying great job and great location. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch in there. Strike 1 called. 1-1 the count. Something that you might want to think about doing if you're the manager, just trying to work over the umpire a little bit. Swung on and lifted into deep center field. Nolan Henley's on his horse going way back into the fence, into the wall, and it's going to one-hop off the wall. Henley throws it in, hits the cutoff man, and it gets by Greg Espinosa. Now he's throwing to third, and he made a great throw, but the runner is in there in time for an RBI triple. So Jake Howitt gets the RBI, well, you could say double, and then advances to third as really Espinosa kind of bobbled it out in the outfield, and it's 3-0 Power here in the top of the third inning. Here's a big right-handed hitter, Hunter Benning. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout. The infield has come in with only one out here in the top of the third inning and a runner on third base. 3-0 the score. Nice breaking pitch in there for called strike one. 0-1 the count. Well, for the Pirates, we've seen them in this scenario come through before when you bring the infield in and throw somebody out at the plate. See if it pays off here. Alvarez takes a look over at third and now comes home. Ground ball. High chopper over to Nathan Virgin, who makes the basket catch and throws across the diamond to A.J. David for the second out of the inning. 5-3 if you're scoring at home. And here comes the number 7 hitter in the lineup, Zach Sterry. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to the first baseman, David. Zach Sterry from Oakland University. Left-handed hitter. Power mixing in a lot of lefties and righties in the lineup. Sterry finally digs in. Sterry was a player of the week earlier in the season. Grounds it to the right side and through the hole on the right side past the diving Kyle Jackson. So that'll be another RBI base hit for the Power, and they lead 4-0. So the Palm Springs Power doing what they couldn't do the first two times really at all against Alvarez. Alvarez really dominated them the first two times. And we mentioned the game here at Cal Poly Pomona. In 8 innings, he had allowed no runs, and the 2 runs scored against him came in the 9th. And here comes Charlie Madden. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. But here today, just from the beginning, the Power started off with 4 hits in a row to open the game up and scored 2 runs. And now lead 4-0 with 2 more runs here in the third inning. Swung on and missed. And it's 1-1 here to number 1-1 on the Power. Charlie Madden is the number 8 hitter in the lineup here for the Power. So then it would be, should he get on base, Danny Edgeworth, the number 9 hitter, due up next. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed in the dirt, and is 1-2. And that pitch has been tough all game for the Power to really diagnose. 1-2, says the home plate umpire. Where's had a little bit of trouble is the fastball. Seems like they've been able to catch up to the fastball and make good contact with it. Here's a 2-strike pitch in the dirt. Gets by the catcher, Christian Kelly, but that's a wild pitch all the way. And Zach Sterry advances into second and is now in scoring position as the Pirates are trailing 4-0 here in the top of the third inning. We mentioned yesterday against Team San Diego, the Pirates were trailing 4-1 in the third inning, so they're going to have to come back with another comeback here today of a similar nature, but in this sense, see a 4-run deficit as opposed to 3. Time called for at home plate by the hitter, Charlie Madden, as he backs up out of the batter's box and gets right back in there, awaiting a 2-2 offering from Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez comes set, leg kick and fires, breaking pitch low for a ball, and it's a full count. Payoff pitch to come here for Alvarez going against Madden. As we mentioned, on deck is Danny Edgeworth. He would be the number 9 hitter in the lineup. So if you're Alvarez, you certainly want to try to retire this hitter here so you can start off the next inning with the number 9 hitter. Although the number 9 hitter actually did get a hit. This ball's grounded down the third base line and foul. And we'll do it again. Another full count pitch to come here for Charlie Madden, who has done a good job of protecting the plate, and also, just like we mentioned back in the last inning for the Pirates, feel like you just kind of want to seal out pitches and just try to wear down the pitcher as much as you can, because you want to see who is behind Morgan Ehrman in the Pirates scenario, and same for the Power with the sense of Alvarez. Fastball away, ball 4. So that'll be a walk, the second walk of the inning issued by Andrew Alvarez. And here comes Danny Edgeworth. He's got a single in the second inning. He's 1 for 1. One of 2 players in the starting lineup from Mercer University. The other was the previous hitter Charlie Madden, who drew the walk there on the full count pitch. Alvarez comes set, 2 runners on, 2 outs, top of the third inning. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. In the inning, Power getting 2 more runs and doubling up the score. 4-0 is the score. Jake Howarth had the RBI extra base hit to center field that scored Eno Patron. And then Zach Sterry with an RBI single as well. This one misses low, and it's 2-0. For the Pirates, you'd figure that definitely this game was a very important game to win. You have certainly your ace on the mound. Here's the pitch, and this one's foul tipped, and it's 2-1 here to Edgeworth. But the reason you figure that this was kind of a must-win game, even though it really isn't, it's a best-of-3 series, but you really wanted to win this game because it's certainly going to be hard to go to Palm Springs and win 2. But they have done the split before. In fact, they did it last year and this year, have the Pirates. Ground ball right side, straight at the first baseman, A.J. David, 2-hopper, and he will step on the bag for the 3 unassisted put out there. And that finishes the inning off. Pirates trailing 4-0 at the end of 2.5. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to Scalinos Field as we head to the bottom of the third inning. 4-0 the score. Pirates trailing the Power here in Game 1 of the championship series. Bryce Cherry due up for his first at-bat here for the Pirates. He's hitting .298 on the season, .365 on base percentage, 8 RBIs, 6 runs scored for the left-handed hitter from San Francisco State, one of 4 Gators on this team. First pitch he sees is low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Good eye was the exclamation from first base coach, Coach Espinosa. Here's the pitch. And this one's right over the plate for called strike 1. 1-1 the count to the 6'1", 205-pounder. Hometown Atascadero, went to Atascadero High School. Swung on and missed, 1-2 the count. At Atascadero, he was an all-state performer, 2-time All-County, 3-time All-League, and the San Luis Obispo Player of the Year. So did some very impressive things out there. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off the catcher's protective gear, and we'll have yet another 1-2 count to come here. Ehrman going against Cherry. Talked about how important this number 9 spot in the lineup is to try to turn it over back to the top of the lineup. This one swung on and lifted foul down the third base line and out of play. So another 1-2 pitch to come here to Bryce Cherry. Cherry just kind of taking an emergency hack on that last pitch, but fouling it off. Here's the pitch. And this one's high and away. 2-2 the count. So Ehrman saw him kind of offer at that last one that was pretty high and out of the zone. And so he tried to throw it even farther out of the zone. But Cherry definitely did a good job of taking that one. And as we mentioned, 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play again behind third base. Dugout. And yet again, we'll have another 2-2 to come here for Cherry. And we mentioned back in the last inning, that's something that we really are looking forward to for the rest of the game for the Pirates. Just settle down, take a few pitches, see a lot more pitches, get deep in the counts, and hope that the pitcher, Ehrman, will make some mistakes. Fastball right down the middle, that was a mistake, but this is a towering fly ball, hit a mile high to the left fielder, who doesn't make the catch. He makes an error, and Cherry slides in safely to second base. It'll be a 2-bag error for the Power, as Howarth was struggling with the sun. Sun is normally a problem later on in the game. We always see kind of the third baseman and left fielders shielding their eyes, but still the sun is normally in the left fielder's eyes. He has sunglasses on out there and is checking the sun again. But anyways, what has happened now is the Pirates have gotten their leadoff man on base all 3 innings so far, have yet to take advantage of it. foul ball. Trying to square around with the bunt was Espinosa, and it's 0-1 here. So the Pirates just, I guess, still content with trying to sacrifice in a run, even though they're trailing 4-0. The number on Greg's back, number 4. Of course, Greg Espinosa, along with Andrew Alvarez, the starting pitcher in this game, both headed to Houston Baptist, a D1 school in the Southland Conference. This one's lined into right field for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Bryce Cherry, and that's an RBI single for Greg Espinosa. It's 4-1. And Greg Espinosa has been on an absolute tear, and we said that in his last at-bat. He's 2 for 2 here today, but coming into this game, he was .391 batting average, and now obviously going 2 for 2, it's just increased, and he has just been on fire. And if you recall, back in that doubleheader on Monday, June 23rd, against these same power, he went 5 for 7 in that doubleheader. So he has the number of this team for whatever reason. Here's Kyle Jackson. He's 0 for 1. Hit and run, swung on and fouled down the first base line as Kyle Jackson was just behind that pitch, and it's now 0-1. Kyle Jackson's guy, another guy who's actually really been on fire as well with the stick lately for the Pirates, had a big hit yesterday, RBI double, and also scored a run in that third inning. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time. As Morgan Ehrman, he's been making a lot of pickoff throws over to first, especially with Greg Espinosa on base. But we mentioned sooner or later, you keep getting the leadoff man on base, you have to be able to score him, and that's what's happened here in the third inning, as it's now 4-1, Pirates trailing. Power got 2 in the first and 2 in the third. And then the Pirates finally answering here with 1 in this third inning. This one's lined down the left field line for a base hit. Charlie Reynoso is sending the runner Greg Espinosa to third. Jackson is on his horse running to second. The throw is going to come towards second, but not in time. It's a stand-up double for the Pirates, and they are showing some life here in the bottom of the third inning. And it was the third inning yesterday where they scored 6 runs, and that was all done with 2 outs, though, by the way. This one, of course, there have been no outs yet, so still no outs. 2 runners in scoring position, and Anthony Virgin at the plate. He's 0 for 1 in this game with a fly out to the shallow left field. The shortstop made the catch out there on that play, but this is a guy who you definitely want up if you're the Pirates. He has been on fire as well. We were talking about really these first 3 guys in the lineup. They've all been on fire the last 2 weeks, but Anthony Virgin, his fire has been that of the power variety. And he has had, in just this last 8 days, 2 home runs and 2 doubles, 7 RBIs, just in the last 8 days. Anthony Virgin hitting .321, .422 on base percentage. So we're talking about the power, as this one is on the outside corner, an off-speed pitch, taken for strike 1, 0-1 the count. Talk about the power, but you also talk about that on-base percentage, .422. That's among the top on the team. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch from Ehrman. Fastball low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. And so already 1 run in for the Pirates in the inning. No outs yet. Heart of the lineup here. Number 3 hitter Anthony Virgin at the plate. Checks his swing. And they check down to the second base umpire, and he says no, he did not go, and it's 2-1. And the Power dugout let out a little roar, although it looked like he held up to me for Anthony. Garlick on deck, the guy who hit the huge 2-run double yesterday. Line drive, left field, base hit. In comes Espinosa, and now being held up at third is Kyle Jackson. It's 4-2. Power leading the Pirates. Still no outs here in the inning, as another RBI single here. This one for Anthony Virgin, who has just been an RBI producer for the past, as we mentioned, 8 days, but really for the season, as now he has 16 RBIs on the season, which is the top on the team. Harry Gurley calling for timeout. That is the manager for the Palm Springs Power, as he will talk to the Arizona Wildcat, Morgan Ehrman, who meets him about halfway in between the mound and the third base line, and now retreats back to that mound with the infield joining him and his catcher, Madden, as well. Well, still no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. For some reason, over these past 2 days, 3 has been the magic number for the Pirates, who scored 6 yesterday, or 5, I should say, yesterday in the third inning, and have 2 in already here in the third inning. Home plate umpire has now joined the power out on the mound, as maybe Harry Gurley was just deciding to buy a little time for whoever is up in the bullpen. They do have a right-handed pitcher up in the bullpen. Can't make out his number, but certainly somebody is getting ready just in case Ehrman will have to be replaced. But here's Kyle Garlick with no outs. 4-2 the score. Pirates answering with 2 runs here in the bottom of the third inning after falling behind 4-0. Runners on the corners, no outs. This pitch misses low, and that is ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Kyle Garlick. As we mentioned, the former University of Oregon Duck, now transferring here to Cal Poly Pomona. So one of 8 Broncos on this team, as this fastball misses low, and it's 2-1. Kyle Garlick 0 for 1 in this game, flew out to the first baseman, but he's been, one of the better players we've seen here in the SCCBL since joining the team 3 weeks ago. 2-1, swung on and lifted foul and out of play down the first base line, and it's now 2-2. Well, it's interesting because we looked at it and Cherry got on, and then Greg Espinosa originally showing bunt, and then lines one for an RBI hit. And if he had sacrificed there, this entire inning might have been a little bit different for the Pirates. But after showing bunt, Charlie decided to let him hit, and it was a good decision as he blasted one into the outfield for a base hit. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Swung on and lined it to deep left field. That is going back to the track, to the wall. That one's gone. That's a 3-run home run for Kyle Garlick, and the Pirates have taken a 5-4 lead. Another 5-run third inning for the Pirates. Unbelievable, as that was a no-doubter. That is as hard as we've seen a ball hit all season long. Oh, my goodness. This is just the third inning. Wow. And standing ovation from everybody in the dugout as Kyle Garlick has the 3-run home run. And what's unbelievable is that really coming into today, we build this as a pitcher's duel. You had the pitcher of the month in June going against the pitcher of the month in July here in the SCCBL, and it's 5-4 in the bottom of the third inning. Still no outs. Here's Johnny Reynoso. Johnny Reynoso hoping to keep this major inning alive. Swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 0-1 to Johnny Reynoso. He's 1 for 1 with the single. He led off the second inning with that single, and we talked about it at the top of this inning. Sooner or later, when you keep getting all these guys on base to lead off innings, this one swung on and fouled down the third base line, 0-2 the count. When you keep doing that, eventually you're going to score some runs, and they did it in the first, second, and third inning, and now here in the third, plating 5 runs for the second consecutive day in the playoffs. Here's the pitch, and this is a towering fly ball hit behind home plate. Will it be in the reach of Madden? No, it just bounces near the Palm Springs Power tent. And really now, what you look at what's happened, Andrew Alvarez now can go back to just being Andrew and can kind of take a deep breath, and sing. This is a brand new game. In fact, I'm actually leading by a run when I come back in. And who knows, maybe it would be more than 1 run as Johnny Reynoso, awaiting the 0-2, fouls this one off on his ankle, and he stays up there. And we were talking about it. Pirates just starting to choose pitches, select pitches, foul balls off, be pesky at the plate, extend counts, and sooner or later, when you're that pesky, the pitcher's going to make some mistakes. Fastball swung on and fouled out of play down the third base line, and Johnny Reynoso continues to foul pitches. So Kyle Garlick with the 3-run home run, making it 5-4 after the Pirates trailed 4-0. This one's the line drive, or a fly ball hitting the deep right center field. That's in the gap. That's going to get down for an extra base hit. Reynoso digging in for second with a stand-up double. And the inning continues as Reynoso looks over towards the first base dugout and claps. And still nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. And Christian Kelly coming to the plate. as the Pirates, Bryce Cherry started the inning off with a fly ball to left center field, and here's Harry Gurley as Morgan Ehrman will get the hook here in the third inning. So the University of Arizona Wildcat will head back to the dugout after a very, very tough start. Said that he had only given up one run all month, but he had not faced the Pirates this month, and they score 5 runs in 1 inning as he slams his glove down in disgust and walks over towards the bullpen down the third base dugout. The only thing that you can say is if he really is your surefire ace for the Power, the only, I guess, solace you can take is that the fact that it's still only 5-4, and he might be able to be available in a possible Game 3. Of course, we're getting way ahead of ourselves there, as the new pitcher for the Power will take the mound and warm up here as his team trails 5-4. And really, for the Pirates, what a great inning it has been. The new pitcher is number 43, Nick Medeiros. Medeiros, we saw in that doubleheader earlier in the season on June 23rd. He's a right-handed pitcher from Santa Clara and will be a sophomore there next season. Well, you talk about offensive fireworks, and you talk about, as we were mentioning, 3 being the magic number, and it is the magic number here for the Pirates for the second consecutive day. As for 2 days in a row, both playoff games, the Pirates played 5 runs. It's still the bottom of the third inning, and still no outs. Johnny Reynoso on second base. Here's what happened. Bryce Cherry led off with a fly ball to left field. It was a towering fly ball that I described as a mile high when he hit it, and the left fielder, Jake Howarth, couldn't see it or couldn't make the catch at the last second. It hit off his glove and fell harmlessly to the ground at that point, and Cherry reaching second on the 2-base error. Then it was Greg Espinosa. He squared around originally to lay down a sacrifice, but on the next pitch, he decides to line one up to the outfield for an RBI single. So it's 4-1 at that point. Then Kyle Jackson, he has a double. Anthony Virgin, RBI single, makes it 4-2. And Kyle Garlick clears the bases with a 3-run home run. And that's where we stand, 5-4 the score. Pirates were trailing 4-0 as they enter this inning, now lead 5-4. Here's the right-handed hitter, Christian Kelly. No official at bat yet here today, as this one misses for a ball, 1-0 the count. His only previous plate appearance was a sacrifice bunt. That's why it was not an official at bat. Medeiros checking the runner at second, Reynoso, who's not being held on. Fastball in there, strike 1, 1-1 the count. Well, we've really reported this, but still no outs here in the third inning. 6 hitters coming up already. This is the 7th in the form of Christian Kelly. Big breaking pitch swung on and fouled off the left ankle of the catcher, Christian Kelly. Started his career at UC Santa Barbara, where he redshirted as a freshman before transferring here to Cal Poly Pomona. And as we mentioned throughout the season, you will not see a better defensive catcher than number 27 for the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right side, and that will be the first out of the inning as the first baseman, Benning, steps on the bag for the 3 unassisted putout. But Johnny Reynoso does advance 90 feet over towards third base. So you look at that, and it's, a good out. It's a productive out for the Pirates, who have advanced the runner 90 feet. And now with A.J. David at the plate, you think this is a guy who could definitely hit a fly ball to the outfield and try to add on another run here to make it a 6-4 game. Here's the pitch. Fastball ground ball to the second baseman. Johnny Reynoso is going to have to stay put, and he will make the throw over to first base, Will Zimmerman. So a nice play made out there on a ball that was hit very hard and very quick over to the second baseman, who was able to hold Johnny on over at third. And here comes Nolan Henley. So this is the 9th hitter in the lineup to come up in this inning. The 8th hitter in the lineup, but the 9th hitter in the inning to come up, Nolan Henley. Nolan Henley, a business administration major, certainly would love to go about his business here and drive in this run and make it a 2-run ball game. Big breaking pitch, misses low for ball 1, 1-0 the count to the University of Laverne Leopard. Of course, Henley, one of 3 Leopards in the Inland Valley Baseball Association. They're being bred early on this team. Ground ball up the middle. Two-hopper to the shortstop, Burcham. Burcham fires low, but a nice dig made at first base by Benning to retire the side here for the Power. But the damage was done here in the 3rd inning as the Pirates, for the 2nd consecutive day, score 5 runs in the 3rd and hit through their entire lineup and take a 5-4 lead as we head to the top of the 4th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for what has already been a thrilling and exciting first 3 innings of Game 1 of the championship series between the Pirates and Power. Pirates leading 5-4. They were trailing 4-0. Nice breaking pitch in there for called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to the leadoff hitter Ryan Clark, who is 1 for 2 with a run scored. But once again, you could call them almost the cardiac Pirates as they, for the 2nd straight day, swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line, 0-2 the count. Scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning, and both days trailing. Today they were trailing 4-0, yesterday at 4-1. But a 5-run 3rd puts them ahead, 5-4. And that inning was just really, really impressive. All of it getting done before the first out in the inning. Breaking pitch low and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. All the damage was done before there were any outs, and Johnny Reynoso tried to keep it going with the double, but the next 3 hitters were retired. They did get Reynoso as far as 3rd base for a potential 6th run. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes the hitter, Ryan Clark. So Andrew Alvarez now going right back to work with the lead. Notches his 5th strikeout of the game. Here's Scotty Burcham. Burcham is 1 for 2. RBI single in the 1st and scored on an RBI single by Eno Patron. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch from Alvarez. Fastball swung on, and this is a high fly ball to shallow center field. Nolan Henley sprinting in and makes the catch for the 2nd out here in the 4th inning. You got to wonder now, as it looks like Andrew Alvarez is starting to feel it a little bit. And really, we talked about it after giving up 2 runs in the 1st inning, kind of just take a deep breath and settle in. Well, it looks like right now he has done that here in the top of the 4th inning. Nice breaking pitch in there. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman is 1 for 2, singled in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 1, 1-1 the count. 5-4, Pirates leading. They were trailing 4-0. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. So 2-1, 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Pirates hoping to retire the side in order for the very first time. But this one misses up and in for ball 3, and it's 3-1. So hitter's pitch to come here for the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Jordan Zimmerman. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, chopper over to Anthony Virgin, a high chopper at that. He throws to David in time, and that is the first time the side is retired in order here for the Pirates. As Clark goes down on a strikeout, Burcham flies out to center field, and Jordan Zimmerman grounds out to the 3rd baseman, Anthony Virgin. And at the end of 3.5 innings, it is now 5-4 Pirates on top of the Power. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 4 we go. 5-4 the score. Pirates leading the Power after a 5-run 3rd inning for the 2nd straight day. Here's Bryce Cherry. 9-1-2 in the lineup is where we are at. Does that sound familiar? That is the same place we were at in the 3rd inning after the Pirates sent up everybody. First pitch he swings at is grounded down the first base line and sliding in, but not safely is Cherry, as the first baseman thought, I think it was going to go foul. Benning looked like he was kind of playing it like it was going to go foul, but it landed in fair territory, stayed fair, and Cherry trying to slide in foot first, which typically you're told is kind of a no-no as a hitter, a young hitter growing up. But in that situation, I guess he decided that was the quickest way he was going to get to the bag. So that is the first out here in the inning, and that's actually the first time that the leadoff hitter has not reached base for the Pirates, as Espinosa was squaring around early, and a breaking pitch missed high for ball one. 1-0 the count. Well, Greg Espinosa, he's 2 for 2 today. A run scored and an RBI. Breaking pitch in the dirt. 2-0. Talk about Espy as being one of the 17 returning players for the Pirates on a team that finished 4th in the league last year, but here this year have been dominant and tied for the regular season championship, as this one misses up and in for ball 3. 3-0 the count to the 5'10", 165-pound right-handed hitter. His major is business, where he will go to Houston Baptist. High and in again. 4-pitch walk drawn by number 4. So Greg Espinosa, 3 plate appearances and 3 times he reaches base, and here comes Kyle Jackson. Jackson 1 for 2, grounded out to the second baseman and double, and then scored back in that 5-run third inning. Right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher. It's Nick Medeiros who came in to relieve Morgan Ehrman. Ehrman only going 2 innings, well, 2+ innings, because he was in the third inning when all those runs were scored before even retiring a single hitter. Espinosa takes his lead off first. Pretty normal lead, and once again, throwing over to first base is Medeiros. They've been really concerned pretty much every time Espinosa has got on base with him at first, making sure to keep him there at the bag, not wanting the Pirates to try to steal a base. Get a runner into scoring position. Time called for by the second base umpire, who is looking into the first base dugout of the Pirates. I guess somebody was doing something extracurricular. Another pickoff throw over to first, not in time. Not entirely sure what that was about. Charlie Reynoso makes his signals over towards first base, and Greg Espinosa, as well as his brother Alex, who is the first base coach, squaring around was the hitter, Kyle Jackson, and the fastball missed way high for a ball. In this situation, you certainly wouldn't think of a sacrifice bunt with 1 out and a runner on first. Maybe just trying to see what the Powers defense would do. This one is lined into deep left center field over towards the gap, and that will get down and hit the wall. Rounding third base and coming home to score is Greg Espinosa. Kyle Jackson headed for third. He'll slide head first, but he is out at third base. But it is an RBI double for Kyle Jackson, the second of the day. 6-4 the score, as Kyle Jackson was going so fast and decided to try to make it to third. Good relay by the Power, but the Pirates get one more run here in the fourth inning and now lead 6-4 as Greg Espinosa scored all the way from first base. And here comes Anthony Virgin. And I was a bit surprised when I first saw him going to third base. But as I mentioned, he was sprinting hard, and that ball was hit to straight up gap in left center. Up and in, ball 1, 1-0 the count here for Anthony Virgin. Virgin with an RBI single and scored back in the third inning and flew out to the shortstop in the first. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Oh, a nice breaking pitch in there for a called strike to Anthony. Anthony will certainly see his name in the All-Star game when those rosters are revealed. This one swung on and lifted foul behind home plate by Virgin. Of course, Anthony is the older brother for Nathan. 1-2 the count. Here is the 1-2. Fastball low and away. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. Well, the Power took a 4-0 lead. 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third, before the Pirates have come back with 6 runs. Nice job holding up there by the hitter on a breaking pitch low and away for ball. And Pirates getting 5 runs in that third inning and 1 run here in the fourth. Full count, payoff pitch to come here for Virgin. Here's the pitch from Medeiros. In the dirt, ball 4. So Anthony Virgin draws a walk and reaches base. And here comes Kyle Garlick. Kyle Garlick up at the plate as Harry Gurley will call for time and head out to the mound. Kyle Garlick, 1 for 1, but that one was a big one. A 3-run home run over the left field wall that made the game a 5-4 game. At the time, the Pirates were trailing 4-2. And if you recall, yesterday it was pretty much the same scenario, only he tied the game. But the Pirates were trailing 4-2 yesterday, and he had the 2-run double down the left field line. As Harry Gurley is talking about his strategy here with Nick Medeiros, the pitcher, and the catcher, Charlie Madden. He will head back to his third base dugout. We talk about this a lot, but Pirates dugout is the first base dugout. That is the home dugout here at Cal Poly Pomona because it's kind of attached to the adjacent clubhouse. Of course, really nice setting for baseball. Another hot day, but certainly not as hot as it will be tomorrow when we get out to Palm Springs. Even though the game's at 7 o'clock, it'll still probably be around 100 degrees, 105 degrees for opening pitch. Lake again, here's the pitch. Fastball lifted foul and out of play down the first base line. 0-1 the count. Kyle Garlick with a big home run in his last at-bat. Lines this one in the center field, and that was absolutely a bullet rocket, but straight at the center fielder who makes the catch there for the final out of the inning. So the Pirates get 1 run here in the 4th inning on the RBI double by Kyle Jackson that scored Greg Espinosa. And it's 6-4 Pirates as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And welcome back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. We're going to head to the top of the 5th inning. 6-4 the score. Pirates leading the Power after trailing 4-0. Come back with 5 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. And here is the cleanup hitter in the lineup for the Power. That would be Eno Patron. Patron has reached base both times. Had an RBI single in the 1st and walked and scored in the 3rd. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to Patron. Patron hitting .429 on the season from Long Beach State. Facing the D1 pitcher and Andrew Alvarez, headed to Houston Baptist. Fastball strike 2, 0-2 the count. So Alvarez gets ahead of the hitter. Alvarez retired the side in order back in the 4th. That was the first time he did that here today and has retired 4 in a row. Here's the 0-2. Low, ball 1, 1-2 the count. Well, the Pirates, really, you can just say they are scrappy. You fall behind 4-0 and come back and you're leading 6-4. Called strike 3. Down goes Patron, and that is strikeout number 6 for Andrew Alvarez here in the 5th inning. Actually, if you recall, in that game that he won against the Power, as well as he pitched, he didn't record that many strikeouts in the game. He only had 3 strikeouts in that game, and he had 6 strikeouts in the previous game. But here, he already has 6, and it's still the 5th inning in this one. Fastball swung and fouled down the right field line. 0-1 the count here for Jake Howarth. And what's also funny about that is both of those times, Alvarez completely shut them down. Here today, he's given up 4 runs, but once again, his team is in the lead. And once again, trying to beat the Power here for a 3rd time. Here's the pitch. 0-1 is swung and fouled behind home plate. 0-2. Well, this is really fun and exciting baseball, certainly, as these are, I would say, definitely 2 of the best teams you'll see in Southern California. And maybe, I mean, you look at their records, you know, maybe some of the top 25 teams in the nation, as this one is also swung on and foul behind home plate. And it's 0-2. As we mentioned, the Power typically finish around the top 25 or 30 for summer collegiate programs. And the Pirates have so far split with them this season and are looking to do damage here in the championship series. Championship that the Power have hoisted up the past 3 years. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. And that is strikeout number 7 here for Andrew Alvarez. As Alvarez is taking it up to another level here for the Pirates. Feel like he can sort of taste it now, even though it's still only the 5th inning, but still you feel like he's just taking up the level a bit. Another nice off-speed pitch in his 0-1. And that's something that we mentioned back in the 3rd inning when the Power actually did score another 2 runs. But in that 3rd inning, it seemed like he started realizing that his off-speed pitch is 0-2, another breaking pitch. It seemed like he started realizing that the Power really couldn't figure it out, whichever ones he decided to throw. As he throws a slow one and a hard biting one, here comes the 0-2. Fastball swung on and fouled out of play behind first base. So Alvarez, after throwing 2 breaking pitches, trying to work backwards and strike out the hitter with a fastball. But the hitter, Hunter Benning, doing a good job of fouling that one off. Benning's 0 for 2, struck out in the first and grounded out to the third baseman. This one's a line drive up the middle, and so that's a base hit. That is the first guy to reach base of the last 7 hitters for the Power, as Alvarez had retired 6 in a row. But Benning, he gets his first hit of the day, and here comes Zach Sterry. Sterry's 1 for 2. Grounded out to the first baseman, A.J. David, back in the 1st inning, and had the RBI single in the 3rd inning. So Alvarez will work back out of the stretch for the first time in a couple innings as he checks the runner at first, who takes a very, very small lead. Here's the pitch. This one's lined in left field for a base hit, so 2 consecutive hits for the Power. With 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. 6 for the score. Pirates leading. And here comes Charlie Madden. Madden's 0 for 1. Struck out in the 2nd, reached on a walk in the 3rd. Power at the number 8 spot in the lineup. Should Madden reach base, it would be Danny Edgeworth coming up next. So the 2 Mercer guys set to come up here in the lineup for the Palm Springs Power. Alvarez checks the runner at second, fires home, swung on and missed, 0-1 the count. I mentioned that breaking pitch has been so tough for the Power to catch up to, but for whatever reason, they've really been able to, jump on his fastball. Alvarez comes set. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. It was actually foul tipped, as Christian Kelly will pick it up and throw over to Alvarez. But once again, Alvarez ahead of a hitter. 0-2 this time. And we mentioned that was another thing that he started doing a lot more of after that 1st inning in general. Just starting to jump ahead of hitters. Makes it so much more challenging to face Alvarez when he's ahead on the count, because there's just so many pitches that he can come with to get you out. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and bounced foul into the third base dugout of the Power. And so we'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch to come here for Alvarez with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. His team leading 6-4 over the Power. Time called for, and now we're ready to resume play as Charlie Madden, the catcher, once again calls for time and steps out of the batter's box temporarily. Well, let's see if there's any more plot twists and turns here. Still only the top of the 5th inning, but with Andrew Alvarez on the mound, your ace, you feel like you might be in a good place here now up by 2 runs. This one swung on and missed, strike 3. So Andrew Alvarez strikes out the side here in the 5th inning. In between those 3 strikeouts were 2 hits. But Alvarez has gotten out of the 5th as his team leads 6-4. We are halfway through this ballgame. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning with number 5 up at the plate for the Pirates. That's Johnny Reynoso, the number 5 hitter in the lineup as well. So a lot of 5s going on. And speaking of 5s, if you are just joining us, there was a 5-run, 3rd inning for the Pirates. Here's a pitch from Medeiros. High and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Johnny, who is 2 for 2. Singled in the 2nd inning and doubled in the 3rd. Johnny Reynoso, another guy who will certainly find his name on the All-Star roster. Lines this one into third for another base hit. As initially, I thought that the third baseman over there, Edgeworth, might be able to make the leaping catch. kind of flared off the bat, but it worked its way out in the left field for the base hit. And that's the second one he's hit down that left field line, has Johnny Reynoso. So Reynoso now 3 for 3. And here comes Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly 0 for 1. Grounded out to the first baseman in the third inning and sacrificed Johnny Reynoso over in the second inning. Back when the Pirates were trailing 2-0. Here's the pitch. Scoring around again, trying to get a sacrifice down. And again, he gets the job done. The pitcher bobbles it, and Christian Kelly is safe at first base. So the first two runners reach here as Kelly reaches on the error by the pitcher. But, of course, Kelly won't go 0 for 1 in that at-bat because it was a sacrifice anyway, so it's a 0 for 0. And here comes A.J. David. A.J. David, the left-handed hitter, 0 for 2, struck out in the second, grounded out to second base in the third. And it looks like we might have Nathan Virgin coming in to replace Nolan Henley. He has a batting helmet on and his gloves. This pitch misses low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Nathan Virgin, another guy, as he is now on deck, is another guy who should be right on the bubble for the All-Star game, as from what we understand. Still waiting to hear exactly and get confirmation of who is in the All-Star game, but when you look at the roster, you hope to see as many Pirates as we nominated, because Pirates finished first in the league and are looking to potentially win the championship series. Squaring around was David, but he lets it go for a strike as Charlie Reynoso is smiling. I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe just the fact that David even showed bunt, because we talk about A.J. David, and one thing he has is a lot of power behind that left-handed bat. Darros checks the runner at second. That's Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso jumping around, and he actually heads out. This is a line drive in the right center gap. Johnny Reynoso was jumping back and forth, and he was caught the right way as he now heads in to score. Christian Kelly will slam on the brakes. It's 7-4 Pirates. So Christian Kelly advancing to third on the double by A.J. David. And we mentioned that right when he was getting hit. Johnny Reynoso, actually, if the pitcher had thrown his second, might have been able to pick him off because he was kind of taking a secondary lead before the ball was even thrown home. But it didn't matter because the pitcher came home, and A.J. David just absolutely ripped it into the gap in right center field. And that, of course, scored Johnny on that RBI double. And here is Nathan Virgin. We mentioned Virgin now in to replace Nolan Henley. So you can close the book on Nolan Henley, who's 0 for 2 on the day. The infield has come in, trailing 7-4. First pitch, Nathan sees the breaking pitch alone away, but called a strike, and it's 0-1 here to Nathan with Jacob Bernardi on deck. So it looks like we'll get another replacement. Bernardi will come in for Cherry out in left field. Here's the pitch. Big breaking ball that gets away from the catcher temporarily, but Christian Kelly is a catcher, and you talk about catchers, and normally they aren't the fastest of guys, and the ball didn't get away, far enough anyways for a base runner to consider coming home on that. But could you imagine if a wild pitch could have given the Pirates another insurance run here? They already got one in this inning, as they've now scored in the third, fourth, and fifth innings and take a 7-4 lead. 1-1 the count for Nathan Virgin, the younger of the two Virgin brothers, with two runners in scoring position. Would love to take advantage of this opportunity. Another breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Nathan will be headed to Cal State Monterey Bay this upcoming fall, where he will be a junior, playing for Citrus College the previous 2 years. Did the 6'0", 180-pounder. Medeiros working out of the stretch, comes set at the hip, leg kick and fires, high and in for a ball, and actually it hit the left arm of Nathan Virgin. So the bases are now loaded for the Pirates here as Virgin is hit by a pitch. And so you've got Virgin, as we just mentioned, on first. A.J. David on second, who had the RBI double to right center that he absolutely ripped, by the way. And then Christian Kelly on third, who sacrificed but reached on the throwing error by the pitcher Medeiros. And here's Jacob Bernardi. So Jacob Bernardi coming in to pinch hit and take over for left field for Bryce Cherry. Cherry will finish 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored in the third inning and also grounded out. And Harry Gurley will come out for another conference. And we have had a lot of pitching visits between manager and pitcher here today, specifically with the power, as I feel like he's been out there almost every inning. And also with the Pirates, though, Charlie came out in the first inning to settle down Andrew Alvarez, as everybody will go over towards third base and kind of talk about strategy, everybody being the hitter, Jacob Bernardi, who's at the plate right now, Christian Kelly, who's on third base, A.J. David, who's on second, and Nathan Virgin, who is on first, for a little bit of a kind of conference there. Over there, as another one is ensuing on the mound with Harry Gurley, the catcher Madden, and the pitcher in Medeiros. Well, we mentioned after the Pirates fell behind 4-0, you felt like this was a game, even though it's not in theory a must-win game because it's a best-of-3 series, you felt like this was a game that the Pirates needed to win if they wanted to win the best-of-3 series, only for the sense that going out to Palm Springs to win one game is hard enough, and being able to do it twice would be, or having to do it twice would be a really difficult obstacle to overcome. But the Pirates plugging away, chipping away, hoping to potentially here maybe score another run. They lead by 3. The score 7-4. Corner infielders in. Middle infielders playing double play depth. Breaking pitch high and in. Ball 1 here to Jacob Bernardi, one of 8 Broncos on this team from Cal Poly Pomona. 6'2", 190-pound right-handed hitter. Here's the 1-0. This one is lifted into shallow right field. It gets over the glove of the first baseman. They might be able to make the throw over to second. No, it gets by the shortstop. In comes 1 run. That's Christian Kelly. Rounding third and coming home to score is A.J. David. And that will be 2 more runs here for the Pirates. They score 3 in the inning. And the score is now 9-4. So Nathan Virgin now on second base. Jacob Bernardi reaching on the flare hit. And so what you're going to have is you're going to have a single, and then you're going to have an error on the second baseman. So credit him with 1 RBI, second run scoring on the error, as the Pirates have plated another 3 runs. And once again, all this happening before the first out, as this pitch is a fastball high and in for ball 1 to Greg Espinosa. So for the second straight time, or not the second straight time, but for the second time in 5 innings, the Pirates score all these runs before an out's even recorded. And another power player is up in the bullpen now, as this one misses up and in as well, 2-0 the count. Greg Espinosa yet to be retired today, singled in the first, had the RBI single and scored in the third, and walked and scored in the fourth. He is a run producer, is number 4, who leads the team in runs scored. This one's cracked into right field, but straight at the right fielder, who makes the catch for the first out here. So Patron was playing that to perfection, and Greg Espinosa is retired for the first time. Here comes Kyle Jackson with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 3 runs in. The Pirates were trailing 4-0 and have come back to take a 9-4 lead. 5 runs in the 3rd, 1 run in the 4th, and 3 already here in the 5th. And still only 1 out with 2 runners on base for your number 2 hitter in the lineup, Kyle Jackson. Jackson, 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 1 run scored, and 1 RBI in this game. Ground ball up the middle. Will that get through? No, it won't. Backhanded grab made by the second baseman, Zimmerman. He steps on the bag and fires to first for the 4-3 double play to end the inning. But it was another great inning for the Inland Valley Pirates, who played another 3 runs and take a 9-4 lead at the end of 5. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 6 we go here at Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona, the home field for, of course, the Inland Valley Pirates, who are leading 9-4 over the Power here in Game 1 of the championship series. Alvarez's first pitch is low for ball 1 to Danny Edgeworth. Edgeworth is 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the second, and grounded out to first base in the third. Well, if you are just joining us, you have certainly missed a lot. Fastball, strike 1, 1-1 the count. 4-0 was the score heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It was Palm Springs on top of Inland Valley. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. Ground ball right side, should be routine play for Kyle Jackson, who fields cleanly and throws out the runner, Danny Edgeworth, for the first out here in the 6th inning. But as we were saying, it was 4-0 heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And then All of a sudden, a huge bottom of the third ensues with 5 runs scored, being highlighted by the 3-run home run by Kyle Garlick. And then the Pirates tacking on 1 more in the 4th, getting 3 in the last inning, which would have been the 5th. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Ryan Clark. Clark is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the first inning. Scored the very first run of this ball game, as this breaking pitch is in the dirt, 1-1. I didn't see anybody pick up the baseball, as somebody will come in now for the Power to pick up the baseball behind home plate. Alvarez peering in at his catcher's signs, likes what he sees, fires a breaking pitch, called strike 2. 1-2 the count here to Ryan Clark. Well, Andrew Alvarez, we mentioned, has been the ace, maybe not just of this team, but of the league all season long. And we talked about his stats at the beginning of the broadcast. Fastball swung on and lifted. Foul behind home plate. Will Kelly be able to make it in time? No, he can't get there in time as the ball falls to the ground, and it will remain 1-2. But heading into this game today, Alvarez had thrown 38 in the third innings, 30 strikeouts, to only 7 walks, 5-0 record, 1 save. Here's the pitch. This one is fouled straight back at the screen. So yet another 1-2 to come. He also had a 1.17 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. If you're not familiar with the WHIP stat, I think lots of people are now. It really became big with the fantasy kick. Here's the pitch. And this is a fly ball to shallow center field. Charging in and making the catch out there is Nathan Virgin, who came in to pinch hit in the last inning for Nolan Henley. Of course, we mentioned that Bryce Cherry was also lifted for Jacob Bernardi, who is in left field now. So those were the only 2 replacements that had come so far for the Pirates, as I kind of look around just to make sure, and that is the case. Everybody else is the same. Here's the pitch from Alvarez. Nice breaking pitch in at the knees. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Scotty Burcham. Scotty Burcham, the right-handed hitter from Sac State, 1 for 3. RBI single and scored back in the first inning. This one misses low. Ball 1. 1-1 the count here. Andrew Alvarez has 8 strikeouts in his 5 2/3 innings so far. Here's the pitch. Fastball away. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. In fact, he actually struck out the side in the 5th inning, but in between the first 2 strikeouts and the last one, there were a couple hits sprinkled in there for the Power. Here is the pitch, and this one is low and away for another ball from Alvarez. I mentioned coming into today only had 7 walks in those 38 innings, so that's a really, really good number. But this one will be a 5-pitch walk drawn here for Scotty Burcham. And so the Power get a runner on base here in the top of the 6th inning, trailing by 5 runs. The score 9-4. Here comes Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman is 1 for 3. Had his lone base hit in the first inning. Also struck out in the 3rd and grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 4th inning. Alvarez kind of kicking around the dirt on the mound. And now back into the stretch. Checks the runner at first and fires home. This one is swung on and lifted. It's a fly ball to deep left center field. Charging is Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi, he tries to make a catch but can't, as in comes a run, and it's 9-5 on an RBI double by Jordan Zimmerman. So Jordan Zimmerman makes the catch. I got excited, and I couldn't quite see it out there because my view was obstructed for a second with the home plate umpire and catcher kind of running out there. But the reason I was excited at first was because I saw Bernardi try to sort of make a diving catch, but obviously he wasn't able to get there. And so that is an RBI double for Jordan Zimmerman. And Power get 1 run back after there were 9 unanswered runs from the Pirates. But we talk about walks, and it's kind of tough to give up the walk in that situation. The next guy comes with a gapper and an RBI. Fly ball in foul territory. The catch is made by Anthony Virgin. Anthony Virgin made it look a little bit adventurous, as it looked like he was camped underneath, and then at the last second, he kind of ran back a couple feet to his left and made a basket sort of catch. But it doesn't matter how it looks. It just matters that you record that out. So the Power do get one run back here in the 6th inning, and the score now is 9-5, Pirates leading the Power of Game 1 of the championship series in the SCCBL. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-5 the score. Offensive fireworks have been the norm in this game for the second straight day after a 7-5 victory against Team San Diego yesterday. First pitch is lifted into foul territory, but it's a high fly ball by Anthony Virgin. Will somebody be able to make it on time? No. It falls to the ground harmlessly for strike 1 here to Anthony. So it's 0-1 for Anthony Virgin, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Flew out to the shortstop in shallow left field back in the 1st inning. Had the RBI single in the 3rd and scored, and also walked back in the 4th inning. As Nick Medeiros, the right-hander from Santa Clara, remains on the mound for the Power. Leg kicking, here's the pitch. This one's lined in left field for another base hit, another rocket off the bat of Anthony Virgin. And Anthony Virgin has just been raking this month in particular, but specifically over the last couple of weeks. Here's Kyle Garlick. Garlick, he's 1 for 3, but that one was a big one in the form of a 3-run home run over the left field fence. Talked about not seeing that many home runs hit here this season, but lately some of the guys have shown off their power, as this one is called a strike fastball, 0-1 the count at the knees. We've seen a few more home runs hit out of here in the last couple weeks. As we mentioned, Anthony hitting 2 of them out over the past 8 days, and Kyle Garlick just absolutely demolishing one here today. Here's the 0-1. Lined into right field. Oh, nice catch made by the second baseman, Zimmerman, who robbed Garlick of a base hit and now doubles off Anthony Virgin at first. Absolutely brilliant play made by him there. And if that could have gone through, that would have been another potential for a big inning for the Pirates. But instead, it's a double play. And just like that, there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pirates leading 9-5. Johnny Reynoso at the plate. He's 3 for 3. First pitch he sees is fouled out of play down the third base line. 0-1 the count to Johnny. Of course, Johnny is the son of the manager, Charlie. His brother Aaron is on the team, as well as his cousin, Matthew. So in a family affair for the Reynosos. Pretty successful family affair so far this season. Line drive down the first base line. Takes a wicked hop, and the first baseman can't handle it. So Johnny Reynoso reaches for the 4th time. As that is kind of almost like a tweener in between a hit and an error, only because it took such a wicked hop. Otherwise, you'd think it was going to be a pretty much standard play to make for the first baseman, but there was not much Benny could do. I mean, it took such a hard, fast hop at the last second, and it got by him, and Reynoso reaches for the 4th time. Here's Christian Kelly. First pitch to him is up for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Christian Kelly, 0 for 1, grounded out to the first baseman in the 3rd. The other 2 plate appearances he sacrificed. And back in the 5th inning, he actually reached on an error on his sacrifice and ended up scoring. Here's the pitch. This one swung and fouled behind the backstop by Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, in talking to him at the beginning of the season, he said certainly the thing that he was working on the most was his bat. And we mentioned his defensive prowess a lot this season, but he was working on the bat, and he started off so strong. And he kind of fell back down in the pack, but he's been picking it up a bit lately and has seen his batting average go back to .297. Had the lead on the team for RBIs for most of the season with 10. Finally got his 11th yesterday. But since then, Anthony has hit 15, Anthony Virgin. Here's the pitch. High and away, ball. And speaking of Anthony, he actually tallied another RBI here today, so he has 16 and leads the team currently. 2-1 the count. Medeiros Comes set, working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. This one is swung on and fouled down the first base line. 2-2. A.J. David on deck. Nathan Virgin in the hole here for the Pirates in Game 1 of the Championship Series. Best of 3 format. Final 2 games, second game and the third game if necessary, will be played in Palm Springs. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing and it actually clips off the bat, so that'll be a foul ball here for Christian Kelly. And another 2-2 to come. I think it might have almost been near his hands, but obviously didn't react as if it hurt his hands, so it probably didn't hit there. We mentioned the Pirates. They've been very, very strong on this home field this season. 18-3 on the home field. A lot of, I guess, home field advantage here. Of course, they're a good team no matter what. So you look at their record, and 26-6 overall. They're winning everywhere. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 3, full count here for Christian Kelly. And really, like we mentioned in the third inning, the big thing was the Pirates just started seeing more pitches here from both pitchers, whether it be Morgan Ehrman or Nick Medeiros, and that kind of started nagging on them. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled down the right field line. Another epic at-bat ensuing here between pitcher and hitter. That would be Medeiros and, of course, the hitter Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, one of a lot of guys from Don Lugo High School on this Pirate team. Off the top of my head, I know Michael Johnson, Brett Early, Micah Byer, who's actually on the Bucks, was on them, and both Virgin brothers as well went to Don Lugo. Here's the pitch. Off with the pitch is Johnny Reynoso, but it won't really matter because it was a ball in the dirt and a ball 4 at that. So Reynoso, he won't get a stolen base because it was a walk here for Christian Kelly. And here comes A.J. David. A.J. David, big left-handed hitter, 1 for 3, doubled, scored, and has 1 RBI, all of that coming in the 5th inning on a ball that he hit an absolute laser into the right center gap. And surprise, surprise, we have another conference out there on the pitcher's mound for Harry Gurley and his pitcher Nick Medeiros. Let's see if this is the hook. Yes, it is. He gets the pat on the back, and so the Power will send out their 3rd pitcher of the game here in this situation, where A.J. David is stepping up to the plate, and they'll bring in another right-handed pitcher here in this situation, as we were saying. But once again, if you're the Pirates, you're leading 9-5 here and hoping to maybe potentially try to maybe scrape across another run if you can. Anytime you can be up by 5 runs, you always love that because one crack of the bat could not tie it up. As we have now seen that the new pitcher is Nick Smith. He is from Western Illinois, where he will be a junior next season. So one Nick comes in for the other Nick as Smith replaces Medeiros. So we can close the book on Medeiros. Came in the 3rd inning and ends up going 3 2/3 in relief here for the Palm Springs Power. But I guess the story of the day would be the fact that the starting pitcher, Morgan Ehrman, who Power were billing as a pretty much unhittable pitcher, ends up giving up 5 runs in 1 inning. Can't even get an out in that 3rd inning. They had just coronated him as the pitcher of the month. And then he faces the Pirates, and that's what happens. They score 5 runs in 2+ innings. After only allowing 1 run the entire month, gives up 5 runs today, as Nick Smith will continue to loosen up his right arm. As we mentioned, from Western Illinois is this right-handed pitcher for the Power. Here comes A.J. David, who is anxiously awaiting. A.J. David, of course, is a major in kinesiology at Cal Baptist and would like to be a physical therapist or trainer. You see a lot of guys like that in baseball, specifically in the summer league, that are kind of wanting to do that after their baseball days are over because they're kind of health freaks or fitness freaks, you would say, and they're very concerned about their body and being healthy. And so A.J. David is another guy that is like that and wants to be a trainer. The runner is off with a pitch, and that is a stolen base for Johnny Reynoso, as really they weren't even holding him on. And actually, Christian Kelly stayed at first. So there's now runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as Nick Smith maybe forgot there was somebody on base, inheriting 2 runners. This one's high and away for ball to A.J. David. A.J. David, of course, was the SECBL All-Star last year, 340 batting average, 466 on-base percentage last year. Another power player in the bullpen. This one is swung on and foul behind home plate by A.J. David. We talked about the fact that really David was a first-team all-conference performer, first-team all-state the last 2 years, first-team all-western region as well for San Bernardino Valley. Swings and misses at this one, though. It's 2-2 here for number 28. Hometown Anaheim, went to Catella High School, where he earned first-team all-league twice and hit .426 as a senior. Those numbers continue to be very, very strong as a freshman and sophomore at San Bernardino Valley. High fly ball lifted down the left field line, slicing towards the track, towards the wall, and it gets over the head of the left fielder, Howarth. Rounding third and coming home to score is Christian Kelly, and that'll be a 2-run double here for A.J. David. The second double of the day for A.J. and the third RBI, and the Pirates take an 11-5 lead as Johnny Reynoso and Christian Kelly come home to score on that 2-run double. So the left fielder, Howarth, for the second time today, struggling out in left field. Remember earlier in the game, in that third inning, where the Pirates scored 5 runs, the very first play of that inning was a fly ball to left field that he couldn't handle. This time, thinking maybe it was slicing foul, he overruns it, and it gets actually over his head as well. So just completely misplayed, but that doesn't change the fact that David just drove it all the way to the wall out there in left field and comes up with that 2-run double as the Pirates lead 11-5. This one's away for ball to Nathan Virgin. Virgin replaced Nolan Henley in the 5th inning and was hit by a pitch. So this will be his first official at bat, as this one misses low for ball. Though he might end up drawing a walk here, so maybe it won't be his first official at bat. 2-1 the count. Bernardi on deck. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 3. 3-1 the count. This is definitely one of the longer games we've had all season long. Of course, everything is magnified in the championship setting, but still just the bottom of the 6th, as this one's called strike. Just still the bottom of the 6th, and we are 2 hours and 14 minutes into this baseball game. I mean, we've had other games that finish in that amount of time. This one's low, so Nathan Virgin draws a walk, so still no official at-bat here for him today. But as we mentioned, every pretty much time he's up, although I don't think we mentioned this here today, he is an on-base machine. And he will find a way to get on base no matter what. And that's what he's done twice here today, reaching both times. Here's Jacob Bernardi. The number 9 spot in the lineup came in for Bryce Cherry back in the 5th inning. High and in, ball 1. 1-0 the count here for Nick Smith. Going against Jacob Bernardi, who is 1 for 1. Had the little flare out over towards the first baseman, over the head of Benning. Here's the pitch. Fastball called a strike. And it landed on the ground. And a run scored. And then the second baseman, Zimmerman, picks it up and throws it in the left field, and another run scores, as that was a throwing error by him. Swung on a miss, strike 2 by Jacob Bernardi. So it's 1-2 here for number 14 on the Pirates. Hometown Temecula, went to Chaparral High School. Here's the pitch. Swings at this one and lifts it foul and out of play behind home plate. So we'll do it again, another 1-2 pitch to come. And like we always say, so many of these players, first of all, they were pretty much all league performers in high school, but also honor roll performers in the classroom, and Jacob Bernardi is another one of those. Swung on and missed here, though, and that's strike 3. Down goes Bernardi here, but the Pirates, they score 2 more runs in this inning on 3 base hits. And remember, that line drive by Kyle Garlick, man, if that had gotten through, this could have been another huge inning, but still 2 more insurance runs. The Pirates have scored in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. 5 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 2 here in the 6th. They take an 11-5 lead as we head to the top of the 7th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 7 we go. 11-5 is the score. Pirates leading by 6 over the Power as Andrew Alvarez remains on the mound here going against Jake Howarth. Howarth is 1 for 3. Swings at the first pitch he sees and lifts it in foul territory, I believe. Anthony Virgin in hot pursuit overruns it a little bit but makes the catch. And once again for the second time in as many innings, making an adventurous catch in foul territory, but does make the grab to retire the first hitter in the form of Howarth here in the 7th inning. So actually that was the second consecutive flyout to Anthony Virgin in foul territory as he catches both of them. And here is Hunter Benning. Benning is 1 for 3. Takes the first pitch alone away for ball 1. 1-0 the count. The one hit Benning had was in his last at bat back in the 5th inning where he singled. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Comes inside, called strike, 1-1 the count. And that off-speed pitch has been something that, even though the Power do have 5 runs, they've struggled with that pitch in particular. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch from Alvarez, and it's another one called to strike on the inside corner, and it's 1-2. I think he has a little bit of a smirk on his face as he works over the baseball, does number 19 Alvarez. Alvarez with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning, his team up by 6 runs. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Well, you know that the Palm Springs Power, they are a very, very stout offensive team. And we talked about they've already scored 5 runs in this game, so they've already scored a bunch of runs and more runs that Alvarez has given up all season. Here's the pitch. And this is a breaking ball on the dirt, ball 3, full count. The reason we say that is because they still have 8 more outs to work with here. Certainly not a done game yet, as the Pirates will have to close this one down. And it's something that it's always tough to specifically close out games. As this one is lined, this is a rocket in deep left field, and that is going to be gone. Home run here for Hunter Benning. So Hunter Benning answers with a home run here in the top of the 7th inning, as the Power get 1 back and now have 6 on the board. As we were kind of mentioning, certainly the game not even close to being over yet because the Power do have a lot of offensive firepower. 11-6 the score, top of the 7th inning, 1 out. As Hunter Benning lined that one in the left field for a no doubt home run. And here comes the left-handed hitter, Zach Sterry. Sterry's 2 for 3. Has 1 RBI back in the 3rd inning. Trying to bunt for a hit, and it's fouled. 0-1 the count here for Sterry. I think it's too often that you see a designated hitter trying to bunt for a hit in that way, especially if you look at his build. He doesn't look like he's a speed type of hitter. Coach Espinosa coming out and making a special delivery of a baseball to the home plate umpire, who now puts it in his right pocket, and Zach Sterry digs back in, down 0-1 on the count. Here's the pitch. Away, ball 1, 1-1. This is certainly not the way the games were played here in the doubleheader on June 23rd. Nice pitch, called to strike. That'll be strike 2, 1-2 the count. But if you remember that day, final score of the first game was 3-2, and the final score of the second game was 3-1. So runs were at a premium. Here today, runs have been the norm. Fastball in the dirt, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Just in the top of the 7th inning, and the score being 11-6. Pirates on top here. Pirates at one point were trailing by 4 runs, but that is a long, long time ago now. As this one misses low and away, another ball from Alvarez, and it's a full count. So payoff pitch to come here. The Pirates, with nobody on base, 1 out, they lead by 5. Alvarez shakes off Kelly's sign, now likes what he sees. Tries to throw a fastball, but this one's grounded through the left side hole for a base hit by Zach Sterry. So the Pirates now will have Charlie Reynoso heading out to the mound for a visit, which we have seen a lot of visits, and this looks like this is it for Alvarez, as it looks like Charlie just motioned down the first base line to bring in a new pitcher. A.J. David will shake Alvarez's hand, as will everybody else, and the new pitcher comes running in is Kevin Glom. So Kevin Glom has entered here for Andrew Alvarez. So Alvarez goes 6 1/3 as Glom comes in here. Kevin Glom, another guy who's been very, very good for the Pirates all season long. Of course, very talented right-handed pitcher from Loyola Marymount, where he will be a senior next season. Kevin Glom, 25 innings pitched this season, 1.80 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, and in those 25 innings that we mentioned, had 22 strikeouts. And really, against Team San Diego on last Friday, he only pitched 3 innings because everybody wanted to, well, because the coaches obviously wanted everybody to be available for this week. But in those 3 innings, he was looking really nasty. And there was pretty much nothing San Diego could do in those 3 innings that he took the mound. Finished with 3 strikeouts in those 3 innings, but the stuff was just kind of off the charts from the big right-handed pitcher. So you go from one D1 pitcher in the form of Andrew Alvarez to the next one. Of course, Alvarez playing for Houston Baptist, and now here is Kevin Glom playing for Loyola Marymount. 6'5", 225, right-handed pitcher. Continues to warm up here with Christian Kelly. Definitely a guy that you would say comes from a baseball family and a really just athletic family in general. In fact, he followed in his brother's footsteps over there at Loyola Marymount. His older brother Michael went there from 04 to 08 and played baseball there. His older sister Katie, she played volleyball there as well. So you have 3 athletes in the family playing at the D1 level. And the Father Christian, also played at the D1 level in basketball at Santa Clara. Speaking of Santa Clara, that's where Nick Medeiros, the second pitcher for the Power here today, goes. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 1, 0-1 the count here for Charlie Madden. Madden's 0 for 2, struck out a couple times, and walked. So the Pirates obviously hoping that that will continue to be true, continue to hold true, really. The fact that he has struck out 2 times. But this one is lined down the right field line and foul, 0-2 the count. Kevin Glom's hometown is San Jose. Went to Bellarmine College Prep before going to Loyola Marymount. Actually, he has a younger brother, pickoff throw over to first. I believe he said his younger brother also is at San Jose State, which would make a 5th D1 athlete in the family. I believe he told me that earlier in the season. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back at the screen. So another 2-strike pitch to come here for Glom. Glom, a 2-sport athlete in high school, also played football as well as baseball. Major is business administration and finance at LMU. Checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Lined into center field for a base hit here for the Power. So 3 consecutive hits. One was a home run by Hunter Benning. Then there's a single by Zach Sterry, and now a single here by Charlie Madden. And Power trying to get a rally going here in the 7th inning. As we mentioned, everything has just been magnified in this championship game, which is why this has been one of the longer games played here all season long already at the 2-hour and 26-minute mark in the top of the 7th, as Kevin Glom goes for a little bit of advice, maybe a few pointers from Greg Espinosa. Greg pitching 1 inning this season, so maybe knows a little bit about how to pitch on the mound. Of course, in that 1 inning, retired the side in order and actually struck out the last hitter he faced and threw an absolute fireball fastball. Here's Danny Edgeworth. He's 1 for 3, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Big out to get if you're Glom. Ground ball right side foul, 0-1 the count. So from one Mercer University player in Madden who singled to the next one, and Danny Edgeworth. Edgeworth hitting .260 on the season with Palm Springs. Well, every out is just so important here with the corner infielders in, thinking maybe, I don't know, I don't think they would try to sacrifice here, but this is the number 9 hitter in the lineup. But you're playing for a double play in the middle as well with one out. High fly ball to left center field. Jacob Bernardi ranging to his left, going about 20, 25 feet, and makes the catch right in front of the O of Cal Poly Pomona. I guess I should specify which O, since there's a lot of O's out there. It's the last O in the Pomona. So that's where the catch is made here by Bernardi for the second out of the inning. And here comes Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, he's the leadoff hitter. He's 1 for 4 in this game. Wears number 30. He's a really big leadoff hitter. A lot of size for number 30 on the power. Kevin Glom checks the runner at second, no one holding on. Nice breaking pitch, called the strike, 0-1 the count. And that was definitely a 12-6 breaking ball if I ever saw one. It was a slow breaker as well, as it just kind of completely fell once it came to the plate. Hitter really having no chance to catch up with that pitch. Glom comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball lined into center field for a base hit. In comes a run to score as Nathan Virgin will fire home. And Virgin almost made the throw in time, but it got past Christian Kelly. And now the runners will advance to second and third as Virgin came up firing an absolute frozen rope. But Kelly couldn't handle it. And then the runners advance to second and third. So another run comes in to score here for the Power, who have gotten 2 back. And the score is now 11-7. So 11-7. Top of the 7th inning, 2 outs. Kevin Glom on the mound, 2 runners in scoring position. Still a huge situation. Get out of here. Up by 4 runs if you can. Fastball away, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Scotty Burcham. Burcham is 1 for 3, RBI single in the first inning, and also scored in the 6th inning when he reached on a walk. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Burcham. So we were talking about it. The Power certainly have a lot of offensive firepower and lots of great hitters on the team, and we knew that, as I mentioned, when there was still 8 outs to get, it wasn't going to be easy. And since then, they have scored 2 runs to make it an 11-7 margin. The lead is 4 for the Pirates, but still 2 men in scoring position here. You'd feel a lot more comfortable about yourself if you get out of this inning without giving up another run. That's a strike, and that is the first strike here to Scotty Burcham. 2-1 the count, as the Power dugout has started to get a little bit more vocal here with Kevin Glom on the mound, trying to sort of get in his head. Breaking pitch just misses low and away for ball 3. 3-1 the count for number 3-1 on the Pirates. That's Kevin Glom. In this situation, it is a hitter's pitch. He should be sitting dead red on fastball. But in this situation, you do have first base open if you're Kevin Glom. Here's the 3-1. Fastball grounded through the left side. And a backhanded attempt made by the shortstop, Espinosa, who can't handle it, but does make sure that another run doesn't come in to score. So it'll be a single and an RBI for Burcham. 11-8 is the score now. And Ryan Clark has to hold up on third base. Runners in scoring position at third, and also a runner on first, as Shade is now covering and encompassing right field here at Cal Poly Pomona, as well as first base, and over towards second base and Kyle Jackson as well. Still 2 outs, runners on the corners. 3 runs in now in the inning. 11-8 is the new score, and still runners at first and third for Kevin Glom. Here's the pitch. Fastball cracked down the left field line, and this one might be gone. This one is gone. It's out of the park, and it is now 11-11. Here in the top of the 7th inning. Can you believe this? This is Unbelievable. The third, that'll be the second 3-run home run of the day, as the Power have come all the way back to tie it after Alvarez was lifted here in the top of the 7th inning with 1 out, and Kevin Glom having a really tough outing, as now the 9th hitter in the inning, Eno Patron, will step up to the plate, and Charlie Reynoso will come out for a few more words with Kevin Glom, and he is giving Kevin Glom the hook. And so that will do it for Kevin Glom, and a game that is really going to hurt his ERA, obviously, but more importantly, it's going to really hurt the fact that you were up 11-5 and you've given up 6 runs here in the 7th inning. And in comes Jack Johnson to relieve Kevin Glom. And Kevin Glom, you can close the book here for him, as it looks like we might have a double switch or something. I think he was saying we wouldn't have a double switch because there's no pitcher in the lineup. There's a DH, but it looks like we might have. Did we have somebody come in? No, he's just saying 2-6 is the new pitcher. That's Jack Johnson. So it's 11-11, believe it or not, after the Pirates had a 6-run lead. We'll step away for a few moments to try to catch our breath as Jack Johnson warms up here in the top of the 7th inning. Welcome back. This is still the top of the 7th inning. Power scoring 6 runs in the 7th inning. They were trailing by 11-5, and it is now a brand new ball game, as it is 11-11 after a 3-run home run by Jordan Zimmerman. Here's the pitch, and this one's on the inside. Called strike 1, 0-1 the count here for Jack Johnson, who's come in relief for Kevin Glom. Johnson facing a left-handed hitter, Eno Patron, who was a hitter of the week earlier in the season for the Power. This one misses low and away for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Jack Johnson, 6'0", 190-pound southpaw from UC Riverside. He'll be a sophomore there next season. Get some very good experience in the Big West. Nice slider. Ooh, just must have missed outside for ball 2, 2-1 the count. And that is definitely the type of pitch that Jack Johnson would like to be called strikes. It's one of his go-to pitches. High and in, ball 3, 3-1 the count for Jack Johnson, as Patron kind of had to duck out of the way and ran out of the batter's box and now steps back in. Well, we were talking about the plot twists and turns, and there was certainly one for the worse for Pirates. This one's lifted foul and out of play behind home plate, because Power ended up scoring 6 runs still in the top of the 7th inning. And at this point, you're beginning to think, as there's a full count pitch here to Patron, I mean, it's 7:03. How much daylight do we have left? Are we going to even complete the 9 innings at the rate this game has been going? This one's lined into center field for a base hit. So Patron gets a single, and the Power will now send up their 10th hitter in the inning. And believe it or not, it's Jake Howarth who actually led off the inning and flew out to third base. So the first hitter in the inning was actually retired by Alvarez, who then gave up a home run and a single before being taken out for Kevin Glom. And Kevin Glom really struggled and allowed 5 runs in just 1/3 of an inning. Johnson takes a look at first, fires home. This one misses low and away. Ball 1, 1-0 the count here for Jake Howarth. Jake Howarth, 1 for 4. Had an RBI double and scored back in the 3rd inning. Takes this one high and away for a ball. Well, the Pirates found themselves behind by 4 runs and came back and went ahead by 5, and now it's tied again. This one was cracked. Nice leaping catch made by Anthony Virgin to get out of the inning, as Jake Howarth was kind of in disbelief as Anthony Virgin retires him for the 2nd time in the inning. But in the middle of those 2 times he was retired by Anthony Virgin, 6 runs are scored, 2 home runs hit, the big one being the 3-run home run by Jordan Zimmerman to tie the game up at 11-11. Also, Scotty Burcham had an RBI single. Ryan Clark had an RBI single. And then there are a bunch of other singles in the inning sprinkled in there as well. So the Power scores 6 runs in the top of the 7th, It's time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona. The score is 11-11. That is not a mistake. 11-11. 11 runs is the most the Pirates have given up all season long. And they're going to have, but it's still tied even though they've given up 11 runs. And they're going to still have to dig deep for yet another inning here with the top of the lineup due up to come in the bottom of the seventh. That, of course, is Greg Espinosa, Kyle Jackson, and Anthony Virgin. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the seventh inning. As we mentioned right before we went to the break, it's the top of the lineup due up. That's Espinosa, Jackson, and Anthony Virgin here to start things off in the bottom of the seventh. Greg Espinosa, 2 for 3, 2 singles, and a walk. Actually reached in his first 3 plate appearances here for the Pirates in this game. Here's the pitch. This one is swung on, a high fly ball. It's foul, but very playable for the first baseman, Benning, who makes the grab in foul territory and retires Greg Espinosa. So 1 up and 1 down here in the bottom of the seventh inning for the Pirates. And at this point now, you've used, obviously, Albert has started the game. Kevin Glomb came in and really struggled. And now Jack Johnson is currently in. Start thinking who else are the Pirates going to be able to send out there in terms of arms. First pitch, breaking pitch, called a strike, and his own 1 here to Kyle Jackson. Jackson, a couple doubles, is 2 for 4 in the game. 1 RBI and 1 run. Takes this one inside, and it's called strike 2. 0-2 the count. As we were mentioning, the shades are starting to set in here in right field and down the first base line. 0-2 swung on and ground ball to the left side for Kyle Jackson. He's trying to hustle down that first base line, but the play is made pretty routinely by the shortstop Burcham to retire Kyle Jackson. So 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Pirates had scored in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. They had scored at least 1 run in each of those innings. Here's Anthony Virgin. Virgin is 2 for 3, has an RBI and 1 run. Bounces the first pitch he sees straight back to the pitcher Smith. Smith fields cleanly and throws the first to retire Virgin. So that is 3 up and 3 down here in the bottom of the seventh inning. First time in a while that the side was retired by the power. In fact, actually, I believe that is the first time it was retired in order the entire day. That is true. So at the end of 7, it remains 11-11 here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 8 we go. 11-11 is the score. That is actually the score. I did not make a mistake there. It's too crazy to make up. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Hunter Benning. Hunter Benning started the explosion offensively out in that 6-run 7th inning with a home run where Power ended up scoring, as we mentioned, 6 runs to tie it up. They were trailing 11-5. Up and in, 2-0. So the Pirates initially fell behind by 4, wound up taking a 6-run lead, only to see that 6-run lead fall apart in the last inning when the Power tied it up. Fly ball lifted foul and out of play behind home plate by the hitter, Hunter Benning. Benning is 2 for 4 with that home run and also a single. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch from Johnson. Big breaking pitch, called a strike. That'll be the second strike in the at-bat here for Jack Johnson. Johnson majors in bioengineering at UC Riverside. Very, very intelligent guy. Leg kicking, here's the pitch. Tried to go with another breaking pitch, this one of the backdoor variety, but missed outside for another ball. It's now a full count here for Jack Johnson. Hometown Riverside. Went to J.W. North High School, where he won a CIF championship. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul down the third base line. We'll do it again. Another full count pitch to come. And along the way for J.W. North, as they won that CIF championship, Jack Johnson's favorite baseball memory is throwing a one-hitter in the playoffs against Jay Serra. That's a good favorite moment for sure. Here's the full count offering. And this one bounces in the dirt, ball 4. And we talked about it, but this is something that on Friday, Johnson kind of struggled with was once he gets to the full count, walking the hitter. And he does it here, as that'll do it for him. So a very, very quick hook here in the top of the 8th inning for Jack Johnson, as Jordan Sheffs will come in to pitch here on top of the 8th. And this is interesting only in the sense that Sheffs came in and threw 3 2/3 innings yesterday. So you feel like you kind of feel like Sheffs maybe would have had the day off, but they're asking him to come in here in a really tough situation. 11-11 the score. Runner on first base. He inherits that runner at first, as Christian Kelly was talking to him a little bit, and now Sheffs is taking his first warm-up pitches here in the top of the 8th inning. You look at and think about who else might be available for the Pirates, although once again the daylight is starting to fade here in the top of the 8th inning. I think we can get through 9 for sure, though. But you look at who else is available in terms of pitching arms, and you see Brett Early is on the bench, and also I believe Ryan Romero and A.J. David, who is at first base, also might maybe see him for an inning. I'm not sure if they want to leave him in, though, for his bat, and don't want to, potentially risk losing him if he just comes in for an inning. And Michael Koval, he was in the dugout, actually started the game yesterday, and for most of the game he was kind of in gym shorts because there was no way he was going to pitch. But now all of a sudden he's in uniform, is number 55, but not sure if we'll see him. But here is Jordan Sheffs. Sheffs, 6'2", 185-pound right-handed pitcher from UC Irvine, where he will be a sophomore next season, going against the left-handed hitter and designated hitter for the Palm Springs Power. That is Zach Sterry. Sterry with 3 consecutive hits in his last 3 at-bats, 3 for 4 on the day overall. Hoping to start a rally for the Power. Meanwhile, of course, the Pirates would love nothing more than a double play. Quick pick-off throw over to first, but not in time from Jordan Sheffs. Sheffs, among other things, went to University High School, where he's an all-CIF performer 3 times and the MVP of his league, the Pacific Coast League. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 count. Holds school records at University High School for strikeouts, innings, and wins. And you look at his best year there, just put up absolutely ridiculous stats at University High School. 9-2 record, 87 strikeouts, and 80 innings. This one was swung on and fouled behind home plate by the hitter, Sterry. That year he also threw 6 complete games. Of course, the high school level, that's 7 innings, but still impressive nonetheless. Here, Pirates are hoping that basically he can just finish this one out, I think. I think that's what the strategy will be for him to finish these final 2 innings out. Here's the pitch, runners off, swung on and fouled back at the screen again. So Sheffs now working with a 2-strike pitch, no outs in the inning, top of the 8th inning. What a crazy Game 1 of the SCCBL Championship Series. And there could be 2 more after today. Of course, we won't have to worry about daylight in the other 2 games because they will be played under the lights in Palm Springs. 1-2 the count. Here is the pitch from Jordan Sheffs. Fastball swung, and once again, this one is fouled into the screen behind home plate. And that one is actually stuck into the screen as it was hit very hard into that screen. And it will remain 1-2 here for the Anteater from UC Irvine. Of course, the Anteater's enjoying a lot of success this past season, making it all the way to Omaha for the World Series. Breaking pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is the first out here in the inning for the Pirates. Still on first base is Hunter Benning, who was walked by Jack Johnson. And Jordan Sheffs, it seems like every time he comes in, maybe not every time, but a lot of the times he comes in, he always inherits really tough situations. In fact, he did yesterday and ended up getting the win against Team San Diego yesterday. But what's impressive is that he always seems to get out of it and always seems to give the Pirates a chance to win the game. Fastball low, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to the number 8 hitter in the lineup. That's Charlie Madden. Charlie Madden, 1-for-3, singled and scored back in that 7th inning where the Power scored 6 runs and tied the game up. Here's the pitch from Sheffs. Fastball, misses low. Throw down from second. No, it's not in time as the throw missed to the right. And that will be a stolen base here for Hunter Benning, and he is now in scoring position. And not very many base runners have been able to do that this season against Christian Kelly. And so Power get a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. And Charlie Madden, as we mentioned, at the plate, the right-handed hitter, going against the right-handed pitcher, Jordan Sheffs. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball low and away for a ball. 3-0 the count. Maybe at this point you just think might as well just almost put him on and create a force anywhere or create the ability for a double play. But it doesn't look like the Pirates will do that. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside corner, strike 1, 3-1 the count. So Sheff's still going after this hitter. And this hitter, speaking of this hitter, is number 11, which is the score for both teams, 11-11. Madden awaiting the 3-1 pitch from Jordan Sheffs. This one misses low and away. Ball 4, 5-pitch walk drawn by Madden. And so I guess you could say now that the runner stole second base, that's kind of not that big of a deal. The big deal is the runner on second would be the go-ahead run. But really, it's almost even a better thing that there is now runners on first and second because, as we were mentioning, you can get a force out to any base or you can try to turn 2. Time called for by Christian Kelly. He will head out to the mound and talk to Jordan Sheffs. This is Danny Edgeworth at the plate. Edgeworth 1 for 4, singled in the second inning, and has been retired the 3 times since. Ground ball out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning, ground ball out to the second baseman in the 6th inning, and flew out to left field back in the last at-bat that he had. All sorts of shades starting to take in now as pretty much the entire infield is encompassed in shade. The only parts that aren't is where the shortstop's standing, and actually the third baseman as well, Anthony Virgin. But second base and first base are in shade, as is the mound and home plate, pretty much most of the way down the third base line. Right field and center field completely encompassed in shade. Away, ball 1. Pitch misses away. So it's 1-0 here to Danny Edgeworth. Well, what a crazy game 1. 11-11 the score, top of the 8th inning. Breaking pitch in the dirt, that gets by Kelly. And Kelly's going to try to throw down to second, but kind of bluffs as both runners advance into scoring position here on a wild pitch. And now Charlie Reynoso's coming out again. I wish we had counted the mound visits between both teams in this game. Seems like, honestly, there's been at least 1 mound visit for each team ever since, I would say, even the first inning. I think Charlie might have had a quick mound visit with Andrew Alvarez, and then Power going out there in the 3rd inning. I would guess that pretty much since the top of the 3rd inning, there's been a mound visit every single inning, as Charlie Reynoso will now head back to the first base dugout, looking back at Christian Kelly and Jordan Sheffs. Well, this game, it's 11-11, top of the 8th inning, 1 out, runners on second and third. The infield is playing in, so they have decided not to walk the hitter, Danny Edgeworth. Sheff steps on off the mound and now comes right back on the bump as time is called for by Kelly. So Christian Kelly wants to talk out the strategy with Sheffs at the mound here and gives him a pat on the back and heads back to his spot behind home plate. Jordan Sheffs working out of the stretch. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. And it's 2-1 here to Danny Edgeworth as There were actually 2 balls when Charlie had the mound visit, so it's 2-1 to the number 9 hitter in the lineup for the Power. Chefs peers over at third, fires home. This one is lifted down the third base line. Will it stay in fair territory? Yes, it's foul. It's just foul. So the Pirates kind of dodge a bullet there, as that one must have missed by just a few inches even. And so that is the second strike here. And it's now 2-2 to Danny Edgeworth. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 8th inning. 11-11 the score. Game 1 of the championship series, a best-of-3 format here in the SCCBL. So glad you've joined us wherever you may be on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 3. So it's now a full count here for Jordan Chefs going against Danny Edgeworth. And then back to the top of the lineup for the Power after Danny. As we mentioned, the infield is in. All 4 infielders on the infield grass. This one swung on and fouled back and out of play behind home plate. And so we'll have yet another full count pitch to come here, as this is certainly a huge situation, to say the very least, for Jordan Chefs, with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out. Team tied here in the top of the 8th inning, 11-11. Line drive right side, and that will be a base hit. Gets through the hole for 1 run to score, and it's 12-11 here as the Power take the lead in the top of the 8th inning on an RBI single by Danny Edgeworth. Charlie Madden advancing to third, had to hold up there. So the Pirates take a 12-11 lead with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Back to the top of the lineup they go, and Ryan Clark. And now Christian Kelly, he'll go out to the mound and talk it over with Jordan Chefs. So not only seeing mound visits from the coach, but also seeing visits a lot from Christian Kelly now, as the Pirates now will have to find a way to come back again. Mentioned at one point, Pirates, they trailed 4-0 before taking an 11-5 lead. And now Power coming all the way back to grab a 12-11 lead. Here's the pitch. Misses inside, ball 1. 1-0 count for Jordan Chefs. Going against Ryan Clark. Clark has 2 hits and 2 runs scored in the game. 2 for 6 overall. Pickoff throw. But he doesn't decide to throw it over there. Both umpires telling the third base dugout to be quiet. That is the dugout of the Power. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, a little chopper over to the third baseman. Trying to barehand it with Chefs, and a run will come home and score on an infield hit. And it's now 13-11. It was basically a swinging bunt. It's a full swing, but went about 10-15 feet down the third base line. And Berzini couldn't get there in time. Jordan Chefs barehanded and caught it with his bare hand, but there was no way he was going to throw the runner out at first base or try to make the throw at home to retire the runner who just scored. That was Charlie Madden. So still runners on first and second here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 runs in already. 13-11 the score. Foul tipped off the edge of the bat here by Scotty Burcham. Burcham is 2 for 4. 2 RBI singles and 3 runs scored. Blake Higgin, here's the pitch. This one's grounded to the right side and through the 3-4 hole for another base hit. Rounding third and coming home is the runner, and he will score. And that is the 3rd run of the inning for the Power, as Clark is now on third, and Scotty Burcham comes up with the RBI single. And time is called for by Charlie Reynoso, who will now relieve Jordan Chefs of his duties. And we will get another new pitcher in, and that will be Aaron Reynoso. son of Charlie, running on to the mound. We'll step away for a few moments. 14-11 is the score. This is still the top of the 8th inning, and there's only one out. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. Still the top of the 8th inning. 3 runs in already for the Power. 14-11 the score. Aaron Reynoso has come in here for the Pirates. Steps off the mound with runners on the corners and only one out here. As we mentioned in the top of the 8th, 5'10", 205-pound right-handed pitcher is Aaron Reynoso from Cal Poly Pomona, one of the 8 Broncos on this team, business administration major. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed by Jordan Zimmerman. Jordan Zimmerman with 4 RBI on the game, had the 3-run home run in the 7th and the double in the 6th. Aaron Reynoso working out of the stretch, checks the runner at first and now comes home. This one misses low for ball. Aaron Reynoso says he aspires to work in the front office of a baseball organization once his playing days are over. Hometown Upland, went to West Christian High School, where he was a second-team All-League selection as a senior. Checks the runner at first, comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Aaron Reynoso, one of the more deliberate pitchers you'll see here in the Summer Collegiate Baseball League. Really takes his time. 1-2 the count here. Shakes his head no, and now nods yes in approval for Christian Kelly's signs. Love nothing more than hopefully a ground ball up the middle to turn 2 here to get out of the inning. Fastball low and away, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Well, to kind of just sum up everything that's happened in this game would just be crazy, as 25 runs have been scored. It's 14-11, and really the most crazy thing about it is just how it happened, the fact that the Power came out on fire, and this one is fouled off the edge of the bat, so the hitter, Jordan Zimmerman, stays alive. Power scoring 4 runs. Then the Pirates, they scored the next 9 runs in the game. Power tacking on 1 to make it 9-5. Pirates getting 2 back, making it 11-5, and then ever since, 9 runs in a row scored for the Power. This one is another deep fly ball to left field, ranging and making the catch right near the wall is Bernardi, but no, it comes loose. It comes dislodged by the wall, so that'll be a triple and a 2-run triple for Jordan Zimmerman. So Jordan Zimmerman, believe it or not, has now hit for the cycle in this game, and that is 2 more runs scored here for the Power. So it's now 16-11. Palm Springs on top of Inland Valley here in the top of the 8th inning. Here comes Eno Patron. Patron is the cleanup hitter in the lineup. Couple hits and a walk in this game. Reynoso comes set. Here's the pitch. And this one misses for a ball. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. Infield still playing in, even though the Pirates now trail by 5 runs. Here's the pitch. Line drive in the center field. Going back is Nathan Virgin. He'll make the catch, but another run will come home to score, as that's the sac fly RBI, and it's now 17-11. Power leading. So the Power, for the second consecutive inning, hit through the lineup. Last inning, actually, they sent up 10 hitters. This inning, it's 9. This will be a pinch hitter. This is Nate Pollock from Western Illinois. So Pollock comes in for Halleth. Here's the pitch. High and in, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Well, this is certainly tough considering what happened. I mean, wow. Pirates were up by 6 runs, and now they trail by 6 here in the top of the 8th inning. So a complete role reversal, and as we were mentioning, the way the game went, it was pretty much all power at the start, then it was all Pirates for the middle, and now all power here for the end. Still 2 more at-bats to come for the Pirates, although with the fading daylight, it might be hard to, especially at the rate this game has been playing, to even complete the 9 innings. There must be, as this one misses high and in, there's got to be some way to finish the 9 innings. It would be, you know, obviously for a championship game, you can't have a 8-inning, you know, daylight game. Fastball away, ball 4. So Pollock, he draws a walk, and this is now the number 10 hitter, or the 10th hitter in the lineup to come up in this inning, which would mean that Hunter Benning was the one who started this all off. He drew a walk and stole second base and scored in this inning, and that'll do it for Aaron Reynoso. So Aaron Reynoso now is lifted here for Brett Early. And welcome back. We're still in the top of the 8th inning. The man who led it off is now back up here for the Power. So the Power is sending up their 10th hitter in the lineup here in this 1 inning as they hit through the lineup in the last inning. And actually this is a new hitter. Runners off with the pitch, and that's called a strike, but Christian Kelly couldn't handle it. The new hitter is Nick King in for Hunter Benning. And Christian Kelly has had a tough day behind home plate. Not the typical day from number 27. This one misses low and in, ball 1. 1-1 the count here for Brett Early. Haven't seen Brett Early in a while. 6'2", 205-pound right-handed pitcher from the University of Laverne. Majors in math there. Plays in the SCIAC Conference at D3. Swung on and missed, strike 2. 1-2 the count. Hometown Chino, went to Don Lugo High School. We were talking about that earlier in the game. A lot of former Don Lugo High School players on this team. Here's the 1-2. Breaking pitch in the dirt, 2-2. At Don Lugo, he's an all-CIF selection, all-league 3 times, and was a 3-sport star, played football and wrestling, as well as, of course, playing baseball and towing the rubber for Don Lugo. Here's the pitch. The runner's off. This one's swung on and lifted into shallow infield. Catch made by Kyle Jackson. And that will do it for the top of the 8th inning. But the top of the 8th inning was not a very good inning for the Pirates, as for the second consecutive inning, Power send up 10 hitters. This time, Power scores 6 runs again, so they put up a 6 spot in the 7th and a 6 spot in the 8th and take a 17-11 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And now there will be a little bit of a talk between the umpires and the coaches, being Harry Gurley and Charlie Reynoso. I'm wondering if they will consider ending this after 8 or finishing the 9th inning tomorrow before Game 2. Not exactly sure what that conversation would be, other than just what I said. Are they considering potentially making this an 8-inning game? That is exactly what we're going to do. So the game is going to end after the bottom of the 8th inning today, but we will play the 9th inning tomorrow at Palm Springs Stadium, which is going to be very interesting in itself. So they're going to finish the 8th here, and they'll resume with the 9th in Palm Springs Stadium, as we were just saying. So this will be the last at-bat here for the Pirates, no matter what. As we mentioned, daylight is fading, and we were talking about this back in probably the 6th, 7th innings, just how long this game has been. Already a 3-hour and 12-minute game. Score 17-11. Power leading the Pirates. Here's Kyle Garlick, the number 4 hitter in the lineup. He's the cleanup hitter, and he did a good job of cleaning up in the 3rd inning when he hit the 3-run home run. First pitch to him is called a strike, 0-1 the count. So he's 1 for 4 on the day. On deck is Johnny Reynoso, who has reached base all 4 times. So good spot in the lineup to come up here for the Pirates and try to get a couple more runs. A towering fly ball to deep center field, but the center fielder out there, Clark, has it under control and makes the catch for the first out here in the 8th inning. So that'll be the 5th consecutive Pirate retired by Nick Smith. Came in and relieved Nick Paderos after Morgan Ehrman started the game off. And what has been an absolutely crazy game. 28 runs scored. Here's the pitch. Ground ball fell into the first base dugout over towards Jason Padlow. And really this is tough for the Pirates because it's almost like you're shell-shocked. You were up by 6 runs, and now you've fallen behind by 6. And it's really going to be tough, you think, going to Palm Springs and now having to win 2 in a row. Although they will finish the 9th inning out before Game 2 tomorrow, which I'm sure will be interesting for the people out in Palm Springs to just kind of see a 9th inning and then, start the game up again after, probably a few minutes later. Towering fly ball, another towering fly ball, shallow center field. Shortstop going about 10 feet on the grass, and Johnny Reynoso is retired for the first time today on a fly ball. So that'll be the 2nd out of the inning, 2 up and 2 down here for Nick Smith. And here comes, this is actually Jason Padlow. So Padlow comes in for Christian Kelly, which means that I assume Dylan Lowenstein will catch that 1 inning tomorrow in the 9th, because obviously Jason Padlow is not a catcher. So Padlow just getting a at bat here. And then obviously, as we were mentioning, it will have to be Lowenstein for the first inning tomorrow, which will actually be the 9th inning of this game. This one misses upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Jason Padlow. Padlow, 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter. Plays for Cal Poly Pomona. This one actually hits off his left arm. So Padlow reaches base in his only plate appearance. And here comes Nathan Version. Or Nathan Version is actually picking up a bat. He's in the hole. A.J. David is the man that is on deck and will take a couple swings. He wasn't actually even on the on-deck circle. Not sure if he lost his spot in the lineup or if he was thinking that he wasn't going to come up to bat again here in this inning. But A.J. David, he's enjoyed success today. 2 for 4, a couple doubles, 3 RBIs, and 1 run scored. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count here to A.J. David. Well, Pirates would just like to get something here and draw within another run if they could. Get maybe a 2-out rally. Fastball away, ball 1, 1-1 the count. So it's 1-1 here to A.J. David. 17-11 the score. I mean, the Pirates have gone like weeks without giving up 17 runs, and they've given up 17 in this one game. Fastball up and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Jason Padlow was bluffing at first base, so the catcher, Madden, jumped up quickly, thinking that he was going to have to make the throw down the second. But as we mentioned, it was a bluff, so Padlow stayed put. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Smith. Fastball away, ball 3, 3-1. As we said, it's always tough to close out a game, but the Power are ahead by 6 runs now. And this wouldn't actually be closing out a game. This would be closing out the 8th inning. Line drive to left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. And the Pirates have another runner on base as the center fielder Clark throws it into the second, trying to catch Jason Padlow off the base. But A.J. David, with his 3rd consecutive hit, and all of them have been absolutely ripped. Here's Nathan Version. Version has reached base both times, hit by a pitch in the 5th, and walked in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled. Out of play down the first base line, 0-1 the count. Even though the sun has set and the entire field is now in shade, it's still pretty warm here in Pomona. With that considered. Swung on and missed, strike 2, 0-2 the count here for Nathan Version. As we were mentioning, you hope that might be able to get a few runs here on a 2-out rally and feel a little bit better about yourself going into tomorrow and knowing that you have to go all out in that first inning tomorrow because that is the end of the game. And then you'll start game 2 probably a few minutes after, 1-2 the count here. So it looks like there'll be 10 innings tomorrow, unless that game goes into extras. Here's the pitch. Low and inside for a ball. Good eye right there. Good plate discipline shown by Nathan Version, as the count is now 2-2 with 2 runners on base and 2 outs in a 16-11 ball game. 17-11, I should say, as this one misses inside for ball 3, full count. So once again, the Pirates starting to see a lot of pitches all of a sudden, and maybe Smith getting a little anxious, just wants to get out of this inning and get that last out. The runners are off. Ground ball to the left side. Will get through the infield. A nice backhanded play, but not in time. The runner is safe, and Padlow comes all the way home to score. So that will be a run here for the Pirates, as A.J. David is at second base, and Nathan Version has the infield single. And it's now 17-12. And here comes Jacob Bernardi, time called for. And honestly, I wish we had somebody counting all the timeouts in this game. There were so many, which is part of the reason why, remember, this game started at 4:30, and we're not even going to be able to complete the 9 innings. Not entirely sure why we couldn't start this game at 4, which is what we did yesterday, but that would have given us another half hour. Here's the pitch. Inside, strike 1, 0-1 the count here to Bernardi. Bernardi entered in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Had the flare single over the head of the first baseman in the 5th inning and struck out in the 6th. Grounds this one foul down the third base line, 0-2. So the Pirates down to their final strike of the day, even though it's the 8th inning. The 9th inning will be completed tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Should be a routine fly ball catch to make out there for the shortstop in the shallow infield, and he does make the catch out there to Zbercham to retire the Pirates here. Pirates get 1 run back in the bottom of the 8th, but trail 17-12 at the end of 8 innings. The game is not over. They will finish the 9th inning tomorrow out in Palm Springs Stadium. 17-12 is the score here. It was 4-0 Power. 5-4. Well, let's just try to recap this. I mean, it's going to be crazy, but Power took a 2-run lead in the first, got 2 more in the third. Pirates come back with 5 in the third, make it 5-4. Then the Pirates get 1 more in the fourth. It's 6-4. Pirates, scoring 3 in the 5th, take a 9-4 lead. Power finally stopping a 9 unanswered run streak, get 1, and make it 9-5. Pirates come back and score 2 more in the bottom of the 6th. It's 11-5. And then 2 6-run innings in a row for the Power. So first they tied up at 11-11 in the 7th, and then they take a 17-11 lead in the 8th before the Pirates finally stop the bleeding and get 1 in the bottom of the 7th, or in the bottom of the 8th, I should say, and make it 17-12. Wow. What a crazy, and that's not even updating like all of the stats from the game. That's just trying to recap how all the runs were scored and when the runs were scored. Absolutely crazy game here at Cal Poly Pomona. So that'll do it for this game. It's an 8-inning game, and the 9th inning will be resumed at 7:05 tomorrow at Palm Springs Stadium, and then they will play 9 innings after that for Game 2 of the championship series. Of course, we'll have that on inlandvalleybaseball.com. And thanks so much for listening to this broadcast. Obviously, we were really excited in the middle. We were kind of a bit stunned and shell-shocked maybe at the beginning, and really excited and thrilled in the middle. And then all of a sudden, the wheels just falling off the wagon here for the Pirates in the 7th and 8th inning, as 12 runs were scored in 2 innings. In fact, 12 runs scored in 2 innings. 11 runs was the most the Pirates had given up all season long in a complete game. And that, believe it or not, was to the Bucks earlier in the season, and that was actually the reason why Pirates ended up getting the number 2 seed instead of the number 1 seed, as Charlie Reynoso is now talking to his men down the third base line, hoping for, I don't know, I mean, the intensity level was there. It's just that they basically saw the finish line, and they couldn't finish in this scenario, even though the game is not finished at that. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad that you joined us for Game 1 of the Championship Series. Game 2, well, actually, Game 1 will be completed tomorrow at 7. Reminding you the final score for now is 17-12 after 8. They will finish the 9th tomorrow, just to kind of reiterate that. And then Game 2 tomorrow in Palm Springs Stadium.